I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up?
Malone will inbound. Fisher's in the game. Walton, O'Neal, and of course Bryant.
And everyone is paying attention to Kobe Bryant.
They start with Shaq. He gives it to Walton. Here comes Kobe. Less than 5 from way outside. Got it! Oh, man! With 2.1.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait. Are you kidding me? Do you believe it?
Did I hear the word fun? Well, hopefully you're having fun too. Welcome to the fantastic, exciting Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson with my partner, Brian Snow. I am Cole Johnson. And we will touch on NFL stuff. We'll touch on USFL stuff later, of course. Sam Shady, the Shady Sports Network. He will join us at the bottom of hour number 1. The top of hour number 2, we will talk pretty much all things Metroplex with our buddy, Ben Southern III. We will, in the bottom of the second hour, of course, enter the Boom Shakalaka. If you have not experienced it, you're in for a treat. Our man Chris Bass is going to make us laugh with whatever is coming in his mouth and brain. And in top of our number 3, we'll have our NFL expert, Mike Debate. In the bottom of our number 3, our brother, Ivan Dawkins of the Queen 3 and King podcast. So that is what's on tap. As I bring in my partner, Brian Snow, on in. Oh, he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt to boot.
It's Hawaiian Shirt Friday, my man.
Hear that. All right, well then, let us enter the whip around. Now we start in Wimbledon. In big news, Rafael Nadal, who of course he's in the twilight of his career, but he's had a fantastic Grand Slam year thus far.
Winning one of the kings of tennis of all time,
if not the current king at the moment. Winning the Australian Open in January and winning the French Open last month. He pulls out of Wimbledon after reaching the semifinals due to a torn abdominal tear.
I hate that for him.
I do too.
I hate that for him.
I do
because
too.
I really wanted to see him complete the slam.
I did too. I wanted to see him complete the calendar slam. And and it looks like he was 2 matches away from actually extending that possibility because he does pretty well in the U.S. Open. This was I thought was going to be the hurdle of all hurdles for him, but
yeah.
And he negotiated beautifully. He got through the tournament just fine, but he said he felt a little tear in his abdominal during his quarterfinal match, but he toughed it out. Had a 5-set victory over Taylor Fitz, and he thought, okay, well, I think I can go. And unfortunately, he went to practice, and he just simply couldn't even serve.
Yeah, and that's such a big key. That's a huge key.
Yeah. Now, to tell you how rare this is the first time anyone has gotten to a semifinal of a Grand Slam and pulled out due to anything, injury or just a straight forfeit, since Richard Krajicek did so back in 1992 in the Australian Open. So this has not happened for 3 decades.
It doesn't happen often.
No, it doesn't. But definitely our prayers to Rafa. You're one of my favorite tennis players I've ever seen. And,
indeed.
And you're a class act. So, my brother, we wish you the best. Going to college football, former Alabama football running back Keelan Robinson has a 2020 championship ring. Oh, I'm sorry. I said has. I mean had. The going rate for the championship ring appears to be $60,000. At least that's what's being asked for the former running back of Alabama, because as of Thursday, the rings showed up on the world famous gold and silver pawn shop, home of the show Pawn Stars.
Oh, dear God.
And it's not just one, because there's others. The ring from the SEC championship game over Florida, the Rose Bowl win over Notre Dame, and the college football playoff championship over Ohio State are also being pawned.
Damn.
Now you might know the name because he actually went to the transfer portal and he went from Alabama to Texas, but when I really think that college athletics seems to have a handle on things, you hear these stories where it's like, how are athletes able to get money? And do we still have issues with this?
Mm-hmm.
Ring pawning? A college football player ring pawning. Anybody help me out on this? I don't understand how.
I got nothing.
I don't either. I don't understand how you can be in a Division I program, and to me the best program in the country, in Alabama,
And you're still having money issues.
and you still have money issues. I don't understand it, man. Well, hopefully it straightens itself out, but
I hope
man,
so.
that made me wince when I saw that.
Mhm.
Oh boy. All right, let's go to Vegas, shall we?
Yes.
History was made as the Las Vegas Raiders hired Sandra Douglas Morgan. Now, I could stop there and say, well, there it is. That's the show, and that's it. But here's why this is important. She is the first Black woman in NFL history to be appointed a team president. Now, they made this historic hire yesterday by announcing the former Nevada Gaming and Control Board chairwoman. And she had this to say upon the honor during the unveiling. Quote, "It is the honor of a lifetime to join the Raiders at one of the most defining times in the team's history. This team's arrival in Las Vegas has created a new energy and opportunities we'd never dreamed possible. I look forward to taking this team's integrity, spirit, and commitment to excellence on the field into every facet of this organization." Close quote. Your thoughts, sir?
First of all, bring back Brent Musburger to call the game, or you can bring Cole and I in to call Raiders games. Second of all,
Yeah.
make sure you concentrate on fixing the team, because y'all went to the playoffs last year. You got momentum. You damn near came all the way back and beat Cincinnati.
Yeah, I was about to say they almost won that
You
wild card game.
almost miraculously beat Cincinnati.
Mhm.
There's your diving board.
Yeah.
Now dive in and continue to fix the team. As long as Mr. Bowl Cut Davis is nowhere around the day-to-day operations and doesn't run this franchise, which should be in Los Angeles, by the way,
Yeah.
into the ground, you're good. But if you make any, and I hate saying this, but I say this about all presidents and team general managers, if you make any kind of questionable move, A, because you're Black, and B, because you're a Black woman,
Yeah.
the microscope will be as large as the state of Nevada.
And that will
that's
be
not hyperbole.
No.
That is simply fact.
And that will be the first thing they'll focus on.
Oh, hell yeah.
The first.
Because the first thing they focus on, Cole and I, is we don't bring good content. Well, we got numbers that say different. And now we're depending on you as football fans, Sandra, to do the same.
Yeah.
To do the same. Good luck to you.
Yes.
Congratulations on your appointment.
Very happy for you, Sandra.
Now, go into the deep end and continue to build the Raiders. And I will take a side note right here.
Go ahead.
As much as it pleases me to a point to see the Raiders in Las Vegas, they should still be in Los Angeles. They should be in Los Angeles.
Look, we here, of course, at this show, we support women in sports.
Absolutely.
So we do not think this is a token thing, and we're not gonna we won't ever say, well, what's a woman doing in a man's league? Those words will never cross our lips.
Gaming board, Nevada Gaming Board, period.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't token.
No.
This is not token at all.
That woman knows the sport.
Very conscious, and correct choice.
Yeah, that woman knows the sport.
Now,
no
Sonia,
question.
Now, Sandra, prove it.
Yes, I'm with you on that.
All we ask.
Yeah,
prove
it, and please do so to the utmost of excellence, as we both think you're able to do.
Mm-hmm.
From the sublime to the ridiculous. All the way in Russia, Brittany Griner's guilty plea on Thursday.
Move on, please.
Oh, Lord. Well, I was going to say that Brittany Griner's guilty plea was due basically because in Russian court, it is more apt that you have to prove your guilt is not that big, instead of in this land, you're innocent until proven guilty.
You said that 48 hours ago.
Yeah. So now we'll see
Brittany,
how much she gets punished.
Brittany, I hate saying this because I love watching you play, but you screwed up
badly and royally.
And
100.
You're going to pay for it.
Ooh, I hate it for you. You are.
You are going to pay for it, but you should. And her wife said, I will not rest until she's home. You should have thought of that and educated her on the rules of Russia and going overseas to play. Should have done that first.
Yeah.
Next.
Now, I thought of you as soon as I saw this story. So a panel appointed by Chicago's Mayor Lori Lightfoot recommended that the city explores enclosing Soldier Field. And it is part of an initiative to convince the Bears to remain in their lakefront home that they've been in since the 60s, rather than leave to go to the suburbs. Now, the panel said the following, quote, although enclosing Soldier Field would incur significant investment, further analysis is required to fully understand the specific costs, the potential direct and indirect economic impacts, and the full range of potential funding sources available to determine options that are respectful to Chicago taxpayers. Close quote. And with that, the floor is yours.
In other words, Mayor Lightfoot, the city keeps the team, but you keep the money.
Wait. So are you saying that this is on par with Chicago politics?
Yep.
Oh.
In other words, the city keeps the team, but you keep the money. Not many people know and realize that Soldier Field is owned by the
city.
Park District.
Yeah.
And until that changes, Soldier Field is doomed.
You never lied.
So Mayor Lightfoot, number one, you're not doing a good job as Chicago mayor. And two, you got no business diving into sports anyway. Unless your city, my hometown, is actually, I don't know, something we like to call safe. And I got plans of going there this coming month. I got plans of getting my legs strong enough to drive my wife and I to Chicago. Chicago politics, business as usual.
Ouch.
Y'all understand why I took the George Carlin stance. And I don't vote, not even on the local level. Because it ain't, this is any major city in America.
True.
It ain't rocket science to see how they're playing this game.
Sure ain't.
It ain't rocket science to see. Open it.
All right. Quote.
In the immortal words of my favorite comedian, George Carlin, it's the old American double standards. You know, say one thing, do something different.
Close quote.
So, one of my good buddies is David Kaplan. Legendary Chicago radio host. And one half of the City Suburban Showdown, an event I covered for some 15 years. Why does a political panel have to worry about Soldier Field? It's bad enough it's so bad they had their landmark status taken away.
Yeah, that is bad. My question is this.
Oh, boy.
Does it hurt the city of Chicago that much if the Bears were to decide to move to the suburbs?
I got a better question. Is Soldier Field that much of an eyesore on the lakeshore?
Ouch.
And believe me, I've been in both versions of Soldier Field, before 2001 and after 2001.
That's a wonderful question to ask.
And I have a question better than that. Mayor Lightfoot, are you going to put 60,000 people in the stands for a high school game we like to call the Prep Bowl? Because unless you're a part of that particular effort, shut up.
I think that sufficiently concludes the whip around. Yeah, I saw that story and I was thinking a lot of the thoughts that you just said, because I'm like, you got to be joking. Really?
They want to get politics and everything. This is coming from a former Chicago resident.
That's why
from a former Chicago resident.
That's why I figured. I was like, yeah, this is going to capture his interest, and he's going to have some interesting points, and pretty similar to what I was thinking. Let's say
unless you're going to fix the city and fix the problem, shut up.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's say hello to the fam real quick before we take our break. Sick says it's Friday, and that means we're getting funky like a monkey. Let the weekend start with a bang. Good morning, everybody, and good morning to you, Sick, all the way.
Good morning, everybody in the chat.
In Norway. How you doing, my brother? He says
so we're not only syndicated, we're internationally syndicated.
That's right.
Love it.
Sick about Rafa. He says injuries are unfortunate, but part of the game. Nadal has an injury of knees. He just had knee problems. Yes, he's had that. Deet says, welcome, guys. Hope you caught the fit down last night. I caught a bit of it, sir. I I explained the goal of conference realignment and what the Baker Mayfield trade means, which we could take a whole show and talk about that.
Oh God.
And yes, I want to know what Jay Spivey thinks about that for real.
Oh, Jay is booked for Monday.
I want to lay out.
Jay is booked for Monday. Let's get to some more comments when we get back, because we're going to take a few minutes and get to everybody. Quickly, good morning, Electrician 480, one of our good buddies, and thank you for being with us. A quick break, and when y'all get back, we got some more comments, and I got some more thoughts on the Soldier Field.
So my partner's gonna go ham on Soldier Field and other stuff. We'll be right back. Sam Shady, the Bond of the Hour.
This is Snowman in the morning.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck. You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Well, your husband does know all this stuff, Dr. K. It is official SIT Morn. That is official SIT Morn on Twitter, on Instagram, and now also on TikTok. Welcome to hour number one of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. I am one half of that duo, Cole Johnson. My partner is having some technical issues. He will come back and rejoin me when those issues are handled. Let me see. Where were we? Oh, yes. Sig says hello to you, Deeds. And Sig talking about Keelan Robinson's rings. He says, pond? Yes. He also goes on to say, what were his finances like? How desperate could he be? That's what makes me question how all of this works. Deets, who, along with the fact that he knows a lot of things, college football is how I know him best. And he knows more about that particular aspect of sports than anybody I know. He says he transferred to Texas. He doesn't care about his Alabama accomplishments. Well, that's obvious because I know he wanted to just get on the field. Toward the Raiders aspect of things, he says commitment to excellence. That sounds like Al Davis speaking. Of course it sounds like Al Davis speaking. You know Every person who is affiliated with the Raiders gets hammered with that. Either it's commitment to excellence or just win, baby. All of that. They probably have that on loop all around any Raiders facility. Six says, Deets, he had bad experiences in Alabama. Deets says, well, he didn't play much, just like any underclassman at Alabama. Yeah, because it's an embarrassment of riches there. I mean, Saban just restacks the deck. That's why you see them, because they reload and reload and reload. And you see Robinson has talent because he was running rush shot in Texas last year. Six says that would explain it, Deeds. Deeds follows by saying, by Sandra, she will be judged just like any other executive, and I hope she will be.
Yeah,
because she deserves to be judged just like any other.
Mm-hmm.
Six says all that needs to be said about Miss Sandra is let's see what she's got. I love that, Sick. I agree with you. About Brittany Griner, Six says, how big of a media circus was Griner's trial?
All you have to see is a picture of her in handcuffs.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah. Deets talking also about Griner. He says, proof the WNBA doesn't matter. Could you imagine an NBA star being jailed in Russia? And I have said this often. I said, the problem that I have with the WNBA as when people compare it to the NBA is that you're comparing a league that has had a 50-year head start.
Mm-hmm.
And let's get this understood. The league really wasn't making money the way it is now until Bird and Magic entered the NBA.
1980.
And even then, the first couple of years, they still were struggling. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about year number 46 of the league. That's when it was starting to make money. That's right. Will and Bill Russell, it was okay, but they really weren't making money all around the league. And of course, the 70s with Kareem, they were about to fold the league. That's how bad in financial straits the league was.
Yeah. They were about done.
Yeah. So to expect the league that's in this 26 year now to have that type of flex and muscle, you're asking too much of a league that still is in its infancy. And you compare it to its predecessor, who it took them almost twice as long to get its footing.
And in many ways, they're benefactor.
Yeah, and in many ways, they're benefactor. Correct. Dietz also says, I don't know how big of a star Griner is to compare to an NBA star, but she is a known commodity. Yes, she is.
Yes, she is.
Unfortunately,
she's a known commodity. Unfortunately, she broke a law.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Unfortunately, she broke a law, and I think that I wish Vanessa Nygaard. Yeah, I wish Vanessa Nygaard, the head coach of the Mercury, did not say what she said, because it's like, okay, you're glossing over the fact your player broke the law.
It's comedy gold is what it is.
Unfortunately, yeah.
It's comedy gold is what it is.
Ryan, good morning to you as always, sir. As I said, I always look forward to this message because I know that you're having a good morning and I'm having a good one if I see this. He says, good morning, gentlemen.
Hey, Ryan,
good morning, everyone watching and listening. Happy Friday.
Did you see those Stampeders last night and the beatdown they put on the Edmonton Elks? Believe me, it was a beat. That the last score I got, it was like 42-6.
Man, I haven't heard CFL talk in a minute.
Wow, it was in Cal. Oh, you're gonna hear a lot more.
No, I'm sure I am.
You're gonna hear a lot more.
Oh, I'm sure I am. Six says Cole and Snowman. It's not the laws in Russia that are the problem. Griner should never gone to Russia. Period. She was advised not to fly to Russia. Here's the issue with that. Here's the issue with that. I agree with you 1,000%. That money talks, and she plays her professional career in Russia when the WNBA season is in its off season. So that's what she gets her stuff in. And
money
talks.
I agree. BS runs the marathon.
Yeah. And so
Snipes.
Yeah. And so when you have that issue, it's like I got to get that money. It seems to rank over everything else. Unfortunately, with Miss Griner, including common sense.
Common sense
Were common. Deet says, as long as it doesn't end up in jail, you sound like my father right there. He's ahead of the game in Illinois politics. Oh, gosh.
Lived in Chicago for almost 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago politics ain't fun.
No. 6 says, and all because of the political climate in Russia. That,
yep.
And she broke the law, too. But yeah.
She broke. This is what a lot of... Can I go all the way there?
Okay, please.
This is what a lot of Brittany Griner supporters, including Coach Nygaard, seem to forget. 4 simple little words. She broke
the
law.
Yeah. Now, if it was for something silly that is unfair, then let's fight for her. Let's fight for her freedom. Sure.
She broke the law. Period.
And then you have people who want to litigate it out here and say, well, it's simply because, well, they wanted to trump up more of these charges and they wanted to have an American so the Russians could stick it to them with. I'm like,
she broke a damn law.
I'm like, okay, that might be true.
How much simpler can it get?
I'm like, that may be true, but this vape pen of weed basically negates all of that.
That she's not supposed to have.
This vape pen of weed nullifies all of that political talk.
All that political talk should not have even entered the conversation. She broke a damn law.
She broke a law. Oh, my gosh.
Steve Harvey.
Oh, hell no.
Is what a lot of people are saying.
Yeah. And Deet's talking about the Chicago / Soldier Field Dome. God, it sounds so funny even when I see it now. He says,
can you imagine Soldier Field with a dome?
Oh, Lord. He says the new stadium was built by people taking cash and not worried about design. Well,
yep.
The refurbishing is definitely proof of they weren't worried about design.
And they're still not up to standards of even old stadiums that refurbished.
That's right. Okay? I remember hearing that talk back when it started. Yeah.
If y'all were to go to Chicago or take a trip to Chicago, fly down Lakeshore Drive and take a peek at Soldier Field. One word comes to mind.
Bruh.
And
ain't nobody got time for that.
And
oh, hell no.
Yeah, I'm working my own sounds into this.
I see.
I'm working my own sounds into this.
Sounding good too. 6 says, is Chicago City Hall and Mayor comparing Soldier Fields to Cleveland's mistake by the lake?
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
I'm going to make an assumption, and I hope I'm wrong.
Okay.
She's not even a sports fan.
I don't think that is a far leap. Because I've never heard her talk sports one bit.
Harold Washington was all the way a sports fan. The late great mayor of Chicago, who passed away in '87.
Yeah, I remember he was
all the way.
I know he was a huge Bears fan. I know that.
Yep, he is all the way a sports fan. If someone like him was in office, this would have been solved even before they blew it up in 2001.
Yeah. Let's say hello to a new family member, Electrician 480.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, man. Good morning. How are you? I hope everything is good and good where you are, brother. 6 says, good morning, Electrician 480. And 6 says, speaking of Al Davis, the leisure suit needs to make a comeback. Well, here's the problem. Mark Davis wears those leisure suits too. They don't look good on Mark.
In the immortal words of YouTuber Urinating Tree, who did a video on the Raiders' move to Las Vegas. Yes, that is his actual name. I encourage y'all. That's his YouTube name, but I encourage y'all to check out his channel. Wonderful content. The Bowl Cut Brigand.
I love that. Good morning, Ryan says sick. He says happy Friday and weekend in advance. Ryan says the game was delayed for a while, talking about the CFL
Yeah.
contest.
Yeah.
Due to nasty weather going on through Edmonton. Regardless, the Stampeders are a wagon right now, while
And
the Elks are on a struggle bus.
I told y'all I'm hooked on the CFL. I want to see what happens. I'm going to be watching two leagues at the same time when the NFL gets started too.
Yeah. 6 says, agree, Cole. The oligarchs have their hands deep in Russian sports.
Yep.
Plenty of corruption and so on. Yeah, no question. No question about that. And he says, fellas, that Steve Harvey out there needs to be used more often. I love it. Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
And we'll explain where I got that from.
Oh my
God.
God.
Even Sam's laughing. Let's bring him in.
We're gonna bring him in.
Sam Shady, Eagle fan in the house. What up, Sam?
How's it going, fellas?
Everything is good, man. How are
Sam,
you?
I got a present for you.
Oh, yeah.
I was unable to do this. Where is it? Okay. I was unable to do this last time because my laptop was too slow. I think you can hear this.
Oh, I can definitely hear that. That's awesome. That's so awesome. Best way to start
I had to bring you in the best way I know how.
That is awesome. That's awesome. Perfect with everything I got going on behind me and on me today. So.
Sam Shady, one of our NFL insiders, football insider extraordinaire, joins us now. And that ass whooping that Edmonton took last night.
It was rough.
You see the comparison. You see the difference between the Edmonton Elks and the Calgary Stampeders.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting game. I did not expect it to be quite that bad, but
quite that bad.
it was pretty bad.
Yeah, that was a butt whooping.
Yeah,
no doubt. It's kind of a bummer. I actually am. I've interviewed Matt Mangle, their punter, Edmonton's punter, and he's been having a killer season. But yeah, that's got to be an embarrassing game.
He got some work in. He got some work in last night.
Yeah,
Yes,
he
he
sure
did.
did. He sure did. Speaking of work, how about the work the USFL did to put on that championship game last Sunday
How
night?
about that championship game?
Yeah, that's well deserved, I would say. Good job, USFL.
I'm so looking forward to season 2.
That is how you close the first season of USFL 2.0. Yeah.
Agreed.
I was looking forward to season 2, but season 1 to put a cap like that on it, a 33-30 game, and it was back and forth until about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter when Birmingham took a 10-point lead. Sam, I give you the floor. Your thoughts on season 1 of the USFL and its championship game?
I got to be honest. Coming out of the last week's playoff games, I was a little discouraged by the attendance once again and the viewership.
Yeah.
But I have to say, the USFL absolutely knocked it out of the park this past weekend. And in terms of the USFL, I mean its fans. Viewership was strong. I think they had nearly 2.1 million viewers. 2.1 million viewers, I believe it was. And then they also had, I believe, something like 16,000 fans in the stands. I mean, when I watched the game, I'm sure you guys noticed, it seemed packed. And I mean, that's a 21,000 capacity stadium. Sorry about that. So, I mean, for there to be that many fans in the championship game, that's encouraging going into season 2. And that game, wow. I think there was 28 points scored in the first 3 quarters alone. And then the fourth quarter, we had 29 points scored, I believe it was total. So it was very interesting to watch. It was a lot of fun. It was very back and forth. And like you guys said, it was competitive all the way into literally, I think, the last 30 seconds when KJ threw that last interception.
And Scooby Wright, bless his soul.
Yeah.
a chance to
Absolutely.
make it, a chance to make an impact, and a pick six to seal a championship.
Absolutely. Scooby Wright, if you're watching, get a hold of me, man. I would love to interview you. Also, on a personal level, I would love to get
Get a
your
hold of
autograph
us.
for my
Love to.
father.
Totally.
We would love to.
Totally.
Hey, we would love
Definitely.
to interview some of the players from
Yeah.
the USFL. AL Evans checking in.
What's up, AL?
Checking in with us. Thank you, AL, for
All
checking
right.
in. We're
So,
talking.
as a Stars fan, how would you rate season 1?
Oh, I'm thoroughly encouraged by the way the season ended, especially how competitive they were in the championship game,
Yeah.
all the way down to our third quarterback and fourth running back. And
Mhm.
they were taking Birmingham to task.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts on Case
Agreed.
Cookus?
I feel for the guy. Actually, he's about 2 weeks away from getting married. Excuse me.
And he
But
feels for the guy. He's 2 weeks of getting married. Ooh, brother.
yeah, he broke his femur, so he will be in a cast for his wedding most likely. That's and nobody's wife's gonna be happy about that. But on another note, I feel for him because I think that had that not happened, I think he gets NFL consideration right out of the way. I mean, he was one of the better quarterbacks. He showed at times he can be dominant. There was that game a couple weeks ago when the Stars scored 46 points and he diced up the defense. I think he threw 4 touchdown passes, ran another.
Yep.
He had 250 some passing yards and over 100 yards rushing. So I mean, I think this season answered a lot of questions about him as a professional level quarterback. And due to that, I believe he was going to get NFL consideration.
Let's pull from the championship game. What other players from the Stars and the Stallions do you think will get some NFL consideration?
From the Stallions, I think Jamar Smith's going to get some looks. He's already been in the NFL and the CFL before, so he definitely will be on their radar. I don't think Case is going to get some looks with the way everything went down. I mean, with him breaking his leg, he's going to miss the majority of the NFL season most likely. So I don't think a team's going to bring him in at this point. Dexter Williams, the running back from the Philadelphia Stars, he just played for the championship game but went over 100 yards. I expect him to get some looks. There's a couple more guys. Channing Dribbling. I always mess up his. He led the league in interception.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the big knocks on him has been recovery speed. He showcased that this season. I mean, he showed he's a ball hawk. So he's a guy who should get some looks. Scooby Wright, of course. I mean, he's bounced around the NFL a little bit before. So I think teams are going to see what he's doing now. He's dropped a little weight. He's a little bit more mobile than he used to be. So I think he's going to get some looks as well.
To the CFL now, and the game of the weekend, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the BC Lions. I see about 1,200 yards.
Oof.
And it might be 100 points in that game, the way those two love to move the football.
Yeah, it might really be. I mean, this past weekend, we saw BC put up 34. Winnipeg scored 23. They both collected victories. They're coming into this weekend with some definite momentum on their side. So it's going to be a fun battle to watch for sure.
Yeah, it's at BC Place in Vancouver. How loud has that place been this year?
No doubt. No doubt. You can say a lot about the CFL, but one thing is definitely always true. Their fans are extremely, extremely supportive of their teams.
And from my buddy Rod Peterson, the Ottawa Red Blacks and the Saskatchewan Roughriders tangle tonight at 9:30 Eastern time. It's not a slow start for the Roughriders, but they still have to feel the sting of that loss to the Montreal Alouettes two weeks ago.
I would agree, especially given the way everything has shaken out since then. I mean, we saw Montreal this past weekend actually fire their head coach and defensive coordinator due to their 1-3 start. So, I mean, it's losing to a team that is now 1-3 due to your loss is never a pretty thing for a team that was undefeated going into that game. That definitely showed some chinks in their armor, but at the same time, I think they're a very solid team and definitely a team to watch for a playoff contender this season.
talking football with Sam Shady of the Shady Sports Network here on the Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning inside of the Canadian Football League. Okay, Nathan Rourke or Zach Collaros? Championship game, who do you take as your starter?
Man, that's hard. That's hard. I always err on the side of youth normally, but if you're in a championship game and it's a one-game situation, I think I'm taking the veteran in that situation. So you got to give me Collaros.
Yeah, got to go with Collaros. Although Nathan Rourke has turned some heads.
Absolutely, and let me say, I mean, he himself is building fan interest in the CFL, and I think it's great.
That's what he's the one who got me back interested in the CFL. Watching his exploits, and now I'm looking forward to watching CFL games to see how he and Collaros and Cody Fajardo from Saskatchewan, see how all those guys do. As mentioned, the game tonight, Ottawa and Saskatchewan. Man, what's going on in Ottawa? What is going on there?
I had a feeling this might happen because Ottawa brought in a lot of free agents. So as you always know, I mean, we've seen it in Philadelphia as Eagles fans multiple times before with the dream team, and hopefully not this season. Man, that would be bad. But with that being said, I think there's just some chemistry woes. I think that once we get the season rolling, it's a long year. They're going to get it going, and eventually they're going to get on the rhythm, and eventually Jeremiah Masoli is going to start dicing up some defenses.
Yeah, let's see how many quarterbacks in the CFL can throw for 5,000 yards. Because I'm counting at least 4.
It's
possible. I think we said them all. Jeremiah Masoli, Cody Fajardo, Zach Collaros, and Nathan Rourke. It's going to be between Collaros and Rourke who leads the league in passing. The way those two love to get the ball downfield. It's our Friday football chat with Sam Shady, wrapping up the USFL season, diving into the CFL. And in a couple weeks' time, we're going to dive into the NFL. Fly, Eagles, fly. They're my second adoptive NFC team because, of course, I follow the 49ers. I am going to follow the Eagles. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have a lot of fun. Thank you, Sam, so much for joining us this morning.
Absolutely. Always happy to join you guys. And definitely appreciate all the support that you need behind the scenes as well, Brian. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Absolutely. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you next week.
All right, Sam. Sam Shady joining us here on the program. Zach Collaros was the Cincy quarterback before Desmond Ridder. That's all you need to know about him. That's the reason you take Zach Collaros. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the reason you trust Zach Collaros. Yeah. But at the same time, you begin to trust Nathan Rourke as well. I just want to see how Rourke pans out for the remainder of the season.
Makes sense.
Because, like I said, there's going to be at least 4 quarterbacks that throw for 5,000 yards. And you know the haters are going to come in. Well, it's the CFL. They play. Shut up. Right. 5,000 yards is 5,000 yards.
Oh, well, remember, going history-wise, remember how people were down in Flutie because of his CFL career. It was like, okay, yeah, you won all those Grey Cups, but you really didn't do diddly squat in the NFL. And my thought is, this guy was a football player, and he proved it. Even in NFL, he proved it. But because he was shorter than 6 feet tall,
Flutie.
Yeah, but because he was shorter than
Flutie.
Yeah, but because he was shorter than 6 foot tall, he was basically cast aside as, oh, he's a sideshow.
Yeah, to all those guys. Let's see your Heisman Trophy.
Right. I was like, this guy.
Let's see let's see your accomplishments. Let's see what you have to prove him, to prove anything to him.
Right.
Now, this is the play, courtesy of CBS Sports, day after Thanksgiving, 1984.
Remember this?
That got me hooked on Doug Flutie.
Flutie flushed. Throws it down. Caught by Boston College. I don't believe it. It's a touchdown. The Eagles win it. Unbelievable. I don't believe it. Phelan is at the bottom of that pile. Here comes the Boston College team.
And of course, is the legendary Brent Musburger on that call day after Thanksgiving, Friday afternoon, 1984.
Yep. Friday
The
afternoon,
Miracle
going
in
into early
Miami.
evening. Yep.
And it rained like hell.
Yeah, it
in
was
Miami
muddy
that day.
Yeah, it was muddy.
And they threw, and Bernie Kosar, and
yeah.
how did Brent Musburger describe it? A duel at high noon.
That's
a duel
right.
at high noon. Because Flutie threw for 472. Kosar threw for over 400 that game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and my mom comes in, checks on me, and she says, "You're watching college football?" I'm watching a shootout is what I'm watching.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm watching a shootout. And then we back to the CFL. Warren freaking Moon.
That's how I got hooked on him. I got hooked on him many years before he was the Oilers QB.
And now Warren Moon is the broadcast partner of Steve Rabel and the Seattle Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
But Warren Moon,
I saw him starting when he won his third consecutive Grey Cup.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, who is this guy wearing number 1?
Yep.
And I was like, doggone. I mean, the ball it's flung out of his hand. It's like, good Lord. I mean, he throws a rocket.
And it's fluid.
And it's fluid. I was like, man, I would love to see him in the NFL. And of course, 3 years later, he's not only in the NFL, he's on my team. And I'm thinking, cool. And yeah, he was
Curtis Duncan, Ernest Givens, Haywood Jeffries, Drew Hill.
Yeah. And
that's all I got to that team right there. You know what kept them from winning a Super Bowl? Jim doggone Kelly.
That's one. Jim Kelly and John Elway is the other.
John Elway, yeah, because
they lost to each QB twice
in
the playoffs.
I mean, it's unfair, but it's the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
It's the playoffs.
Yeah, it is.
Oh goodness. But I miss seeing those days of the NFL.
I want those days to come back badly.
I miss the days of Moon versus Kelly. All right. Hell, I miss Young versus Kelly.
Young versus Kelly too, yeah.
Because remember, Young versus Kelly first took place in '84 in the USFL.
Yes, sir.
With the Houston twice. With the Houston Gamblers and the LA Express.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
8 years later, they're meeting at Candlestick Park, and they put on a no punt game for the ages.
Yeah. It just goes to show how when you see elite quarterback play how it's supposed to be, and that it isn't simply, well, he has an arm or he has the ability to scramble.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it's putting it all together. That plus leading your troops, plus basically being the coach on the field, plus trying to outwit the defense, if not the linebacker, the defensive coordinator. It's all of those things.
In that game in '92, Candlestick Park, Jim Kelly threw for 403. Steve Young threw for 449.
I mean, just imagine that. And that game would, if today's NFL fan looked at just the stats alone, they'd probably say, "Well, the defense sucked in this game."
No, it didn't.
No, that was
the offense has just clicked.
Yeah, that was a case of the offense was just on one on both sides all day, and that happens.
And the quarterback rating, since y'all want to go to analytics, for this game in 1992, Jim Kelly 126.2, Steve Young 127.
It's ridiculous.
Good. Since y'all want to, since people of the 21st century want to go to analytics and bring in the QBR, there you go.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and Young only missed 11 passes that day.
Yeah, they weren't missing much.
Matter of fact, both quarterbacks missed only 11 passes that day. Jim Kelly, 22 out of 33. Steve Young, 26 out of 37. It was one of those kind of days where they figured out early. Well, Thurman Thomas rushed for 85 yards and Ricky Waters rushed for 83 yards. So
I'm saying it was balanced. Yeah, it was balanced. That I was just about to say. I was about to mention with the attempts that you talked about with both quarterbacks. I was like, both offenses were balanced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Andre Reed caught 10 for 144. Here's a name for you. Pete Metzelaars.
Oh, what a tight end.
4 for 113. Thurman Thomas caught 4 for 94. On the 49ers side, Mike Sherrard, 6 for $159.
Oh, I haven't heard that name in a minute.
And our buddy John Taylor, 5 for 112. And remember, they had to play the bulk of this game without Jerry Rice, who went out with an injury.
Right.
And who the hell was Odessa Turner before Steve Young threw to him? He opened the scoring with a 23-yard touchdown catch.
Yeah, that's a good question. I didn't hear that name until that game. You're right.
I mean, he played some with the Giants, yes, but
yeah.
Think about it. Think about this fundamentally. Who the hell was Odessa Turner before he wound up in a 49er uniform? And Steve Young was throwing to him, not just throwing to him, but throwing to him often. Throwing to him often. You don't see games like that anymore. Let's go back to 1990. Oilers at Chiefs. Moon versus DeBerg. And Moon threw for 527 yards.
Yeah. Oh man, don't remind me of that game. I mean, yes, the Oilers won it. They won the game.
But the Chiefs kept hanging around.
Chiefs kept hanging around for one, and two, I'll never forget this game because there was a 33-yard completion that he threw to Jeffries. Both feet were in bounds. He got pushed out of bounds. Now, this was the very first year that instant replay was the way it was then. Of course, it's been modified, but several times. But this was the first iteration of it. So they looked at that play, and this is literal. I'm talking about game time. I'm not game time. I'm talking about literal time. It literally took them 7 minutes to watch that play.
Yep.
And they ruled it incomplete because they said that Jeffries lined out of bounds.
And that would have been a record breaker.
And if that were to have been, Moon would have thrown for 560 yards to the 527, and he would have broken the Norm Van Brocklin record for most passing yards in the game.
That would have been a record breaker. His feet were in bounds.
And his feet were in bounds.
This is not
a biased Oilers fan. I actually looked at it. His feet were in bounds.
No. And I didn't have a horse in the fight that day. Okay, but I just love watching great football.
And
his feet were in bounds.
Yeah, it was a great football game, though. Yeah, no question about that.
His feet were in bounds. Oh man. Here you go. Before we go to hour 2, a little bit of Keith Jackson.
With what they have accomplished.
Okay,
they're ranked 5th in that category this year with what they have accomplished. They're ranked 6th in the nation. They will play number 12 Penn State today. It is a very big ball game for the future of the Wildcats.
That was 1995. ABC Sports was his own identity.
Yeah.
And Keith Jackson was bringing in a Northwestern Wildcats game.
Wait, was that in Evanston or in Happy Valley?
Evanston.
Okay.
And this opening right here sold it. This opening right here sold it for me. Because no one knew. Okay, here you go.
That song. I missed that song so bad.
And here they are, the Northwestern Wildcats, the story of the year so far in college football. A collection of Walter Middies who have unsettled the norm in the Big Ten Conference. Their seats in Dyke Stadium with rumps in them for the first time in a dozen years. They're having so much fun, there was a sign last week that read, "Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier." That's not just a murmur, that's a full-blown fibrillation. But Northwestern is sitting right up there on top. And they're 7-1 for the first time since 1936. Ohio State, of course, is right there with them. And those two do not play each other this year.
I love that. That is great. Let's go back to losing. Parking was
easier.
The delivery was so beautiful.
Who else would come up with a collection of Walter Middies who have unsettled the norm in the Big Ten Conference?
Yeah, he was so he was so poetic, and you wouldn't even think that with Keith Jackson, but yeah, he was so poetic in how he delivered his stuff. Oh my gosh, legend beyond.
Collection of Walter Middies, and if anyone knows the story of Walter Mitty, he upset the norm. He upset the norm. And the one of the best lines in that introduction, as you look at the Big Ten standings, that's not just a murmur, that's a full-blown fibrillation. And they were showing Northwestern 5-0 in the conference. That's the first time, at the time it was called Dyke Stadium, was played to a national audience.
The first time.
Not even ESPN could top. ESPN had the game a week ago, ESPN2. And ESPN2 at the time was in its infancy.
Right.
ESPN2 had Wisconsin and Northwestern, and Northwestern shut out Wisconsin. And I remember Dwayne Stats being on the call for that game. But this one.
Oh, man, that voice I haven't heard in a
Dwayne
minute.
Stats. There you go.
Oh.
Dwayne Stats, the fabulous voice of the Tampa Bay Rays, was with ESPN2 for a while.
And before then, he was an Astros voice, too.
Yes. Yes, he was.
Oh,
Dwayne Stats had the call for that game on ESPN2. All right, 3 minutes after the hour, Ben Sutterth on the way in 120 seconds. I think we need to do a reset really quick.
Yes, we do. Let's do that right now.
All right.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Mister, will you please wake up?
Kelly's one-strike pitch. Swinging a fly ball, center field deep. Bellinger going back to the warning track, to the wall. It's a grand slam. Howie Kendrick has done it. They're going crazy in the Nationals dugout. Howie Kendrick with a grand slam here in the 10th inning of Game 5. The Nationals 7, the Dodgers 3. Do you believe it?
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait. Are you kidding me? Do you believe it?
Oh my gosh, Dwayne Stats, 1980 has come back to my brain. Welcome to hour number 2 of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson on this fantastic Friday edition of the show with Brian Snow. I am Cole Johnson, and soon to join us. Yes, Dwayne Stats. Soon to join us is Brian Sutter III, the owner, the manipulator, and the operator of BS3 Network. But yes, Dwayne Stats. I get visions of seeing the 1980 NL West playoff game.
Yes.
He called that. It was so beautiful to hear him call to me Joe Negro's best pitching performance of his career. Oh, it was
one of the masters of the knuckleball.
Yes.
Joe Negro. And his brother Phil, of course.
His brother definitely was a master of it.
I mean, when I first saw that pitch, and Phil Negro threw. Phil was with the Atlanta Braves at the time.
Right.
I saw that pitch flutter out of his hand. I'm like, what in the world is that?
How it came out of his hand to me is
yes.
Like, you mean it actually he knows how to have it hit the catcher's mitt? I'm thinking that thing's gonna fly everywhere. Oh, right.
And then Tim Wakefield showed up with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah. And decided to add velocity to it.
He added about 20 miles an hour to that knuckleball.
Right.
And there was no rotation on it. None.
Yeah.
Who had the filthier knuckleball? Joe Negro, Phil Negro, or Tim Wakefield? It's a tie because they all had something to it.
Yeah.
Because you thought the Negro knuckleball was going to bounce.
Yes. You always thought it never would get to home plate. Almost every time.
And then you see guys like George Hendrick, old Cardinal slugger, waving at it and winding up on his knees. Before what they do in the old cartoons, zip and swings around like 4 or 5 times and corkscrews himself into the ground.
Yeah.
And they say we don't talk baseball on this program. Let's talk Metroplex. And here is Ben Sutter. Good morning, Ben. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Doing well. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Great. We're doing great. Talking sports. Got you. We're doing awesome. All right. Jalen Brunson is gone. I'll start there with your thoughts.
Yeah, I would love to keep him, but I think the price tag is definitely too high. I think he wanted to go to the Knicks. You know, the story is that he did not give the Mavs the meeting that he said he was. Then when the Knicks hired his dad, I knew at that moment it was over. Because you only make a move like that when you know that the deal's going to happen. And then they got caught with tampering, which I'm not surprised. I think Jalen Brunson, I think Jalen Brunson's a good player. I'm not going to say great because I think we say that too soon. I think he's a good player. I think he would still fit in here. But I think the amount of money that you're going to spend on that, you could use that somewhere else.
So what do you do to replace him? Yeah. Who takes his spot?
Or who would you like to see take his spot?
Yeah. So that's a great question. I think obviously you have Dinwiddie that's there. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of him, but I think what it's going to look like is you're going to probably sign someone that's a mid-level exception or a top guy like that. Rondo will probably be available. Now I know he didn't like being here during that time, but that was the Carlisle days. And Rondo is a point guard for hire, so he would be, I'm sure, he would want to play for Jason Kidd. But I think that would probably be a person I would think of that could slide in. I think they're going to have to probably get creative with it. Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to be back, one of the streakiest shooters on earth. And Luka's definitely going to do his thing. So I think as free agency continues to go along, there'll be guys that'll be available. And I think it's going to end up being a plug and play type situation that becomes a good fit.
And that's a key situation for it to be a plug and play, because the one thing you're looking for in that situation, and I've said this word so many times in sports, consistency.
Necessary.
I agree.
All right, so now we're looking at the all season for the Mavericks. They come off their best season since 2011. Of course, that's when they hoisted the Larry O'Brien Trophy.
And thank God y'all beat LeBron in the Miami Heat, but I digress.
What do you think?
Hey,
that always gives me laugh. Always.
Listen, more on that later. More on that later, because that could take us off the rails so quickly.
It definitely can. Yo, Kang. What do you think the Mavericks need to do to either get back to the conference finals or eclipse that and get to the finals for the first time when they do it in 12 years?
I think the number one thing is health. That is number one. And I think that is what's going to propel them or derail them is health. I think that's number one. Number two, I like the second round pick, Hardy. If they're able to coach this kid up to where he can be some type of impact, I think that's going to be key. And Jason Kidd just doing his thing. That's going to be obviously a huge part.
Yep.
And I think Nico Harrison, if he's able to make some other deals, I think that's also going to be another part. But if they can, they'll definitely be able to compete in this West. But the West is getting better. John Wall going over to the Clippers. Obviously, you got Denver that's going to come back stronger. You got the Warriors that are still going to be there. So I still think it's an uphill climb that, if I'm being straight up honest, I don't see them coming out of the West, at least not this year. But they're definitely going to have to better what they did last year. You can't duplicate it because there was injuries all over the Western Conference. So they're going to have to actually upgrade from what they did last year, which is not going to be easy. I do think they can do it, but it's going to be an uphill climb.
This one's for you. Christopher D says JJ Barea, the Bron killer. Ain't that the truth? Not only him, but Jason Terry.
Yeah.
The Jet himself, Jason Terry. And I want the Mavericks to get back to that. But there's one thing that you just said a moment ago, Ben, that plays such a key part. And it really played a part throughout the Western Conference playoffs. Injuries.
Health. Yes.
Yeah. That's a big thing. And also, I want to throw in there real quick. We're talking about that 2011 run. Deshaun Stevenson.
Yes.
He doesn't get talked about
Does not get enough credit.
He was a Patrick Beverly before Patrick Beverly.
Yes.
He would just be a pest on the whole entire team.
He really locked up people.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. Shout out to AB Media 83 joining us this morning. If y'all feel kind, you can contribute to the show via PayPal, paypal.me/snowman2172, or via Cash App. The cash tag you need is Tallman Dr. K50. Ben Sutter's joining us here on the program, talking all things Metroplex sports. All right, we got to get to it since it's July. Next month is August. I know I posed this question last week, but I'm looking for a more detailed answer. Are the Cowboys going to give up on Ezekiel Elliott? And I'll add a word.
I'm so glad you asked this question because
I'll add a word. I will add a word, and I know I'm going to get a laugh out of Cole when I say this, and I might get a laugh out of Ben when I say this. I'll complete the question. Are the Cowboys ... finally ... gonna give up on Ezekiel Elliott? Because ever since they signed him to that $90 million contract,
well, ever since Gerard got his arm twisted to sign him to it,
they walked away and left Ezekiel flapping in the wind. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're 100% right. And I'll say this: me and my coworker, we were talking about it, and it was like, you don't want to make that deal because it's probably going to go south. And I was high on the deal because I was a Zeke fan. I was like, well, he did all this stuff in the past years. He can do it going forward. But to answer your question, no, they are not going to give up on him because they do not give up on players. When was the last time they decided to not sign a guy to a second contract? All year long, they were saying we're not going to sign Van Der Esch. Guess who's going to be in training camp this year? Leighton Van Der Esch. So no, they're not going to give up on him. He was injured last year, and I'm not gonna use that as an excuse. I'm sorry. If you're hurt, sit on the bench and stay out of the game. Tony Pollard was very capable of taking carries from you, and you decided to stay in the game injured, which did not help us at all.
No.
So and then we got this whole thing. I'm sure you guys probably already seen it. He's in the best shape of his life.
Oh yes, yeah, that's where I'm going to go. Yes.
And I'm in the best shape of my life, and I'm fat. So shut up. Get out of here with that, man. I'm so sick and tired of it. I don't care if he's in the best shape of his life in July. I care if he's in the best shape of his life in December. That's when I care. So no, they're not going to give up on him. I don't. His contract's going to expire. That's when they're going to leave him or let him leave. But honestly, they could have made a move at the in the offseason, and I would have been perfectly fine with it because I think he was a great player. Keyword is was. He has not been able to produce like he did those early years from Ohio State. And if anybody else says anything different, just look at the numbers. It's plain and simple.
But see, there's some people who are saying something different because earlier this week I saw a picture of a buff Zeke Elliott, and he was wearing a man bun, and he was toting a rock, and the original post stated, quote, Zeke is going to win his third rushing title. Close quote.
May I respond in kind?
Go ahead, gentlemen. Your thoughts.
I'll start with this and go to this.
Oh, hell no!
And go to this.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And okay.
Well,
and I'll go to this.
And before we go to Ben, Bishop Bullwinkle, do you believe Ezekiel Elliott will win his third NFL rushing title?
Hell no! To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no. Listen.
Period.
Ben.
Period.
That's a no. That's no. That's definitely that's a hell no. That's definitely what that is. Is he big? Is he bigger, stronger, faster, more athletic at this point in his career than Derrick Henry? No. Derrick Henry's going to win the rushing title just like he did. What was that, the year before last?
Yep.
But this is, you guys may need to start a new segment for Cowboyites because that's exactly what that is.
You know
Anytime
what?
a player.
Cole, you got the idea. You got the idea. And we're gonna save it. And we're gonna save it for Friday.
Oh.
Go ahead. I'm ready.
Mr. Dawkins, you heard from Mr. Sutterth. Yeah, that is going to be a segment.
That's gonna be a segment.
Because I've heard from many a Cowboy fan over the years.
Same.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ben.
And so Zeke is one of those guys. Every single year, never fails. He's got some type of video or photo with his shirt off, and everybody gets all excited. I'm not excited at all because it does not matter right now.
Nope.
It doesn't matter that you're buff right now at this point in your career. It's November and December when we struggle the most.
Yes.
So I honestly don't want to see anything until we get further along in the season. I don't want to hear it. So no, he's not going to get the scoring title. If he can stay healthy, which those dreaded words, if he can stay healthy, you never know what's going to happen. But I'm not one of those fans to where I think everything's going to work out great. Yes, exactly.
Please stop the cap. Stop the cap. Okay.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Stop the cap, please. And Sig Diggy, this one's for you.
You for real.
And of course, I got to follow it with this.
Bitch, are you for real?
I had to follow it with that. And we close this interview with The Rock saying,
"You know your damn role and shut your damn mouth."
That's for all the Cowboy fans. Ben Sutter joining us here as he does every Friday morning to talk all things Dallas Metroplex, all happenings Dallas Metroplex. Ben, we love you. Thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it.
No problem. Appreciate you guys. Have a good Friday.
You too, man.
Have a good Friday. You heard him.
Mm-hmm. He said that's a no. That actually is an H no.
That's a hell no. Like that's a hell no. Wait, you had to follow up with the damn straight I did. Damn straight I did, Ryan. Hey, Ryan, Open invite for you to come on to the program, my friend.
Oh, please do. Yeah.
We'd love to have you. Shady Sports Network.
That was hilarious. Yes, it was.
How many Cowboyites, Bradyites, Irvingologists, Hardenites? I don't even have to say the other one. I don't even have to say the other one.
No, they ruined the sport. They almost ruined sports.
They did.
Period.
Oh, you want a mic drop moment? Here it is.
Why would anyone want Zeke to lead the league in rushing? Well, all right.
Listen,
the Cowboys would. The Cowboys would.
I got one for it because they seem to think if Ezekiel Elliott leads the league in rushing, that he's going to lead him to a Super Bowl, which he's not. I have this additional thought about Ezekiel Elliott leading the league in rushing, and it goes like this. Couldn't do it any other way. Couldn't do it any other way.
Sick. Why?
Ezekiel Elliott needs to get off the gram and stop emulating Lenny Kravitz with those nose rings. You know what?
I want to get away. I want to fly
you think he's not saying? You think he's not saying that now? You think he's not singing that now? He's going to be singing that all season long as the Cowboys finish last in the NFC least.
Oh my god!
And yes, I just threw a prediction out there.
Oh my god!
They're going to finish below the Washington Redskins.
Wow! Wait. My apologies. My apologies to the Commanders fans, but is it just me, or do you think that whole organization is circling the drain?
Which one?
Well, the Cowboys aren't circling the drain because Jarrell actually has business sense. They just simply are comedic fodder. I'm just talking about a team that you just know they just do crappy with draft picks. They do crappy with free agency. They do crappy by their fans, as evidenced by when after an Eagles home game, you had fans collapse and fall to the ground.
Oh, yeah.
And they do bad
team
by
that should
their
have
front
never
office.
left RFK Stadium.
Right.
The team that should have never changed its name. What did I say 2 years ago?
A team that was forced to change its name.
Yeah. What did I say 2 years ago about that? What were the two words I used?
Smoke and screen.
Yep.
And it still didn't work.
It still didn't work. The Redskins organization off the field and the Cowboys organization on the field are so
tone deaf.
Find the lie.
Oh, you know that applies to Daniel Snyder because the dude still thinks he's going to be the NFL, the NFL owner for the Washington NFL franchise almost until they throw dirt in his face, even to this moment. That's how tone deaf he is.
Ben's in the chat. Zeke is preseason
He's in hype
at this point. I agree with that. And to my comment of them finishing below the Redskins, please don't say that, Snowman. You know what?
Thank you, Sick.
The one thing about Zeke is he plays. He's reliable to be there each and every week. Wrong answer.
He'll limp.
I disagree with that.
He'll limp there, though. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Six says good morning to BS3. That has to be respected for a running back. Okay, where's the respect for Roger Craig?
And here's something.
Can I go there? Where's the respect for Roger Craig?
And here's something that I think a lot of people need to take into account. Who's the head coach of the Cowboys? Mike McCarthy.
Marshmallow McCarthy.
Name me a guy who was a rushing champion under Mike McCarthy's coaching career in the NFL. Name me one. One.
I can't think of any.
Exactly.
I can't. I cannot think of any. And if you think he's going to produce one this year,
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah. To me, it's not even a question of Zeke's health, which that is a question, but I'm not even talking about that. The Cowboys' philosophy is not to pound the rock. If they get 20 carries combined between him and Tony Pollard in a game, they think they've done something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, great point, Ben. Being there and being effective are two different things. Ain't that the truth?
Drop that mic again, Ben. Goodness.
Andrew says, "Good morning, everyone."
Good morning, Andrew.
In the words of Cool, the commies.
commies.
I'm not. That could go so.
Cool became.
Cool comes up with some great ones, doesn't he?
Cool. He comes up with the commies for the Commanders, the Arlington football team for the Cowboys, and Negro Night for Stephen A. Smith. I'm like, you are a fool, Cool. I love you for that, man.
I love Negro Night. I love when he came up with Negro. I think I was out of the chair when
you were out of the chair.
Right.
You were out of the chair. This was like a week before my birthday.
Yeah.
I played Stephen A. Smith's The Go Conversation is officially over.
Mm-hmm.
And our boy Bass just simply took that segment and destroyed it. He ran with it and destroyed it. Oh my gosh. I don't think I laughed any harder. And then in the midst of all that, here is Cool being literally cool in the backdrop, saying because Bass said that basically Stephen A. Smith is black kryptonite. And then Cool just from out of nowhere just says, "Oh yeah, Negro Night." I'm like, oh Lord. And of course, Bass ran with that. Yes, it was out of nowhere. And Bass ran with that.
And the rest, as they say, is history.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So
and
I love Cool.
And the rest is history.
Ben. Michelin Man McCarthy.
Michelin Man McCarthy. And this is a Cowboy fan saying this.
Yeah, that's a Cowboys fan. That's why I
This is a Cowboy fan saying this.
That's why I cannot say all Cowboys fans are this way, because like I said, I know some credible ones, Ben being one of them, where they could be objective.
Yeah. Ivan Dawkins.
See, Ivan, I didn't say that. You see, Ivan, I didn't say that.
Oh, I teased him the first time I had him on. I teased him mercilessly.
Although I agree with Brian.
But we were talking about one of the greatest rivalries of the 90s. Of course, I'm talking Cowboys 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Deeds, drop this mic, will you please? Mike McCarthy runs offense like Bud Kilmer from Varsity Blues. Between the 20s, hand the ball off, but not near the goal line. We need to have a mic drop. We need to have a mic drop segment for the fans.
Yeah, I agree.
You need to create a sound for that. All right. We need to create a sound for. You know what? And I got the perfect sound. Speaking of Negro Night,
the truth shall make you free.
Hey, Cowboy fans, always remember
the truth shall make you free.
Yeah, but for many of you Cowboys fans,
you can't handle the truth.
For many Cowboy fans, the truth is
unacceptable.
I want to Stephen A. kick. I don't know why, but all these just seems. Yeah. I'm gonna send you this sound right here.
The truth shall make you free.
He said the truth is, to the Cowboys fans, the truth is unacceptable. That's beautiful.
It is. Am I wrong?
Heck no. I've lived with too many of them. I've lived with too many of them. You exactly correct.
And with Cowboy fans, they think this.
You know what? That makes me mad.
Oh Lord.
And to many a Cowboy fan, Ivan Dawkins included.
Montana looking, throwing in the end zone. Dwight Clark.
Why'd you have to go to the 1981 NFC Championship game?
Because that's the game that made me a 49er fan for life.
Oh my gosh.
And again, hey, Cowboy fans, listen carefully.
The truth shall make you free.
I found that by pure accident. I was whoa. Sick. Why'd you say that?
Was Stephen A. dealing with low testosterone when he said that? Oh wow.
Where did the little bass? Since we're ripping Negro Night to shreds, where did the little bass in his voice go? I will answer. Wait a minute. Wait.
Oh, sick king with some muscle.
I'm going to pull out one. I'm going to pull a sound from one of your favorite game shows. I didn't think I'd find that one.
Oh my!
Where did the bass in Stephen A. Smith's voice go for 200? You know where it went? The same place his radio show went. Not once, not twice, but 3 separate times.
Oh, Cowboys fan Christopher Deeds says, what about the truth that it's been longer since the 49ers won a Super Bowl than the Cowboys? Which, yes, by 1 year, that is true.
By 1 year. Since Chris wants to pick on me, I'll pick on him. What about the truth that it's been 26 years since Cowboys made a championship game?
Yeah, that's
a conference championship game.
It'll be 27 if they make it to the next one in 2023.
4. Oh, one of my homies, one of the OGs, BGS, is in the house with us. And since he is, I can't believe I'm going to find this, but where is it? Duh. But you got to say it right. You got to say it like this.
Stay off the weed.
Oh, he's got even more bombastic and ridiculous since that.
Oh, I know. Oh boy, you think we're having fun now?
Oh,
since I got the,
you ain't seen nothing yet.
I will let you do the honors, EP.
Right. Yeah. If you're not ready to laugh, well, I'm so sorry. You're in the wrong place. But if you are, get ready, because we're about to enter the boom shakalaka.
Don't soil this program by putting crap on it. Joe Buck, I cannot take him. I just no dice. I'm glad Carlos Loser finally took the kiwi off his face. It should be on your shoes, not your face. It's kiwi shoe polish, for God's sake. LeBron should come clean about his age. I wish baby Jesus that I had alcohol in this container, because I need some after watching Screaming Nate Smith.
Baby Jesus, really?
6 pounds 7 ounces. Go tell 5 of your friends and 8 of your enemies that Chris Bass will be in the air.
Part of me wishes you would see my partner even hearing in this intro the laughter that was coming from him. But this segment is Baby Jesus Good. We welcome Chris Bass to the program. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Cole. A hearty boom shakalaka to you and everybody else out there. How you doing, gentlemen?
I remember I was in the hospital and you said 6 pounds 7 ounce baby Jesus, and I laughed so hard and so loud the nurses came running. The nurses came running and said, "Are you okay?" I'm listening to my radio show and one of my best friends, and then I rewound that segment and played it, and they walked out. That's how much of an effect Chris Bass has had on me and the folks around me. It's all positive, my man.
Yeah,
we love having fun.
You're very kind in your words. People walking out, I'm quite used to that. So that's not a problem. I take it as a badge of honor.
As this man does say often, He wants you to tell 5 of your friends and 8 of your enemies that Chris Space is in the air. So
not on the air, in
it.
I love
it. So he encourages people who have a derision toward him, which I tip my cap and admiration to you for that, sir.
We do the same with this program in general.
Yeah, we do.
Oh man, having fun with Chris Bays as we enter the Boom Shakalaka as we do each and every Friday at this time. I played so many Negro Night, aka Stephen A. Smith sound bites this morning. I wish I had alcohol in here instead of ice water. Okay,
hey, I'm prepared. Y'all think I was lying the last time, man?
I know you weren't lying. Oh no! I know you weren't lying.
What was that movie? What was that movie you said where you needed to get drunk before you watch it? What was that movie you said? Was it a Bruce Lee movie?
Oh, Game of Death?
Yeah, it was.
That's it.
And I love Game of Death. But man,
you need to
wait. Well, hold on. You love the movie, yet you need to get drunk before you watch it.
That's the only way you can tolerate it. But that's the only way. And I love Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee is one of my favorite martial artists of all time. He set the bar high. People came after him. He was the template.
Yeah, he's my favorite.
But that was not his fault, because I told people he passed away during the making of the movie, and Warner Bros. Got a hold of it, or whatever company it was, and just spliced and diced and put his old movies segments into the movie, and it was just a load of crap. And you had to wait like an hour and a half to actually see Bruce Lee in the footage of him playing, in the Game of Death. But again, you need alcohol to take your mind and soak it.
And it's Friday, y'all. And it's Friday.
It could be Sunday morning, Tuesday afternoon.
He said, "I came prepared."
Yeah,
and he whips out the bottle.
Oh my! Your mind is an absolute joy to witness. Oh my gosh! Yes, I don't think I have been around someone who has a quick sense of humor like you.
When you bust out the bottle.
Oh, you thought I was joking. I was like, I knew you weren't.
And he calmly said, and he just calmly, oh, you thought I was joking. And he busted out the
Absolutely. Once again, I know we're living in a very sensitive world. I'm not condoning alcoholism. God knows I'm not.
Right. But with certain movies and certain shows.
Certain people.
So, and speaking of certain people, Lori Lightfoot.
Oh. There we go.
Now, I read. I mentioned a story that I saw yesterday, and it came across my timeline early this morning about your beloved mayor of your wonderful city. Encouraging putting a dome on top of Soldier Field.
Yeah.
I had so many thoughts about this. I thought about my brother, Brian Snow, and I thought about you, my brother. Your thoughts on that, sir?
Well, the Foot really needs to take a pause and realize what she's doing to her career, which I believe is going down in flames. And to put a dome over Soldier Field, it just doesn't make any sense at all.
It's bad enough they quote unquote refurbished it, and it looks like a spaceship on Lakeshore Drive.
Look, it's already a mothership connection.
Yes,
it already is. I mean, all you need is George Clinton and a lot of weed, and you got Parliament Funkadelic.
Oh my gosh! Wait a minute. Hold up. I gotta pull that story up.
With the suites.
I gotta pull this story up
again. And the parking situation. Anybody who's been to Soldier Field, anybody who's been to or around Soldier Field on game day knows it's a nightmare. It's a night. It's an absolute nightmare. And you want to make it even more of an eyesore on the lakeshore by putting a dome on it? What?
No, some people just don't listen to them. just if you value your mind and value your heart and soul, certain people just turn around and walk away.
No,
and
run.
that's the foot.
Walk away, run away, but get away.
Why did you call her the foot?
Because she keeps putting it in her
That's
mouth.
all I got.
I'll answer that question. Because she keeps putting it in her mouth.
Right, exactly. Open mouth, insert foot.
Yep.
And so with
Opens
her,
her mouth,
and
opens her mouth, inserts a foot.
Well, that's what she does. And so I look at her as a one-term mayor. You know, we'll see what happens when the election comes out, but I'm not going to vote for her again. On a serious note, I have a show on a part of my baseline show at 5 o'clock Central. Pastor Donovan Price, who is a street preacher, quote unquote, and he helps people with tragedies who get shot and killed, their families, and tries to help them out. He has on many occasions tried to talk with the mayor, go to the mayor's office, and he's declined. Now you have people on the street bleeding out.
Oh wow!
But you can't have a time to talk to this man or any organization that wants to help curb the violence of crime in our city. But that alone bothers me when it comes to the mayor. So I just look. Some people call it Uncle Lori. I've heard worse. I just called the foot. Now now you are the mayor of the third largest city in the country. I don't give a damn what your sexuality is.
Uncle
Stop buying
Lori.
off the rack.
Uncle Lori.
Yeah, Uncle Lori. Right. I've heard that many
Lori.
times. Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. Uncle Lori, I call her sometimes, Uncle Foot. It's a lot going on over there.
Uncle Foot. Uncle Lori.
Uncle Lori. The Foot. Uncle Foot.
Uncle Foot.
There's a lot.
Yes.
I'm just oh my.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, I will not see that woman the same ever again. Oh my gosh. And I have to admit this too. My Chicago brethren here. The first time I laid eyes on Lori Lightfoot, I actually thought that was a man. I'm serious. I actually did. I actually did.
Yeah.
I couple that with two words. Who didn't?
Okay. Well, see, here's the thing too. See, she has that hairline that reminds me again of George Jefferson from the Jeffersons. So you know what season it was because every season the hairline went back. So season 1 it was about like right here, and season 2 and then further back. So by season 5 you're half bald headed. And Uncle Foot has that same hairline. So every year she was in office, you had year 1, and then year 2, year 3, year 4. It just keeps going. It's a reverse afro. It just keeps on going backwards.
Oh my. Reverse afro.
Reversed it.
You knew what season it was by the hairline.
I love it. You knew what season it was by the hairline.
Oh, by George Jefferson. I'm like, oh man, that's season 4.
Yes. And there was no piece of hair in the middle either. It was just all line, and it kept going back.
Curly from the Three Stooges buffed that head. It was so shiny.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Wee.
Oh man, AB Media. I would call her Uncle Fester, but that might be an insult to him. Yeah,
it would be
because there's no hairline with Uncle Fester. Uncle Fester.
I like Uncle Fester.
I love Uncle Fester. Uncle Fester actually had some meaning to what he was doing. Yeah. What the hell do you call what Uncle Lightfoot's doing?
I have no idea. No idea whatsoever.
What the hell do you call what Uncle Lori is doing? Now I'm not going to get that phrase out of my head, so I'm going to go ahead and empty the clip and use it.
Lori.
Uncle Lori. Listen, why do base? You and I have asked this question off the air as well as on it. What are Chicago political folks doing in the world of sports,
Lori,
or in the realm of sports?
Well, for some reason, when it comes to the politics of Chicago sports teams.
Right.
They have been grandfathered in by a mentality that's been, going on for generations.
Yeah.
And it's really one of the cheapest times when you look at how I think the Bulls are making a trajectory shift. But prior to that, with the Bears and the Bulls in particular, they want to get these players on the cheap and not really invest into a championship. They
Right.
want to invest in keeping the asses in the seats.
Amen
but
to
not,
that.
Not the chip. That's a whole different conversation because if you're able to keep the boxes, the sky boxes and everything else, as long as they pay, as long as people continue to pay on, say for example, I don't know, the memory of say one Michael Jordan for the Bulls,
Yes,
statue outside of the United Center, and still go on that. If the Bulls at one point, this is when John Paxson was general manager. If I heard the word rebuild one more time, somebody's going to get a chokehold. They were rebuilding for 25, 30 years straight.
Show the hand.
Yeah.
Show the hand.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, exactly. You're going to get it because I got tired of hearing that. Oh, we're rebuilding. And rebuild on this. I rebuild on that because that's a stalemate to not getting the job done.
Well,
you see other organizations build for the chip. All they want to do is build for the asses in the seats. And they're not the only ones that do it, but I just think it's a colossal waste of time.
Yeah, it looks like with that fist that you put forth, Base, that many of your Chicago sports team organizations decided to lower that fist to a certain area.
Chicago Bears being one.
Yeah.
And they were basically like Clarence Carter. They were stroking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to find that song now. I got to find that song and invoke it. See, Cole's the executive producer of the program now, and I'm one of the producers. Now I gotta find that song. Damn it!
Oh yeah.
Damn it! Now
that's what I be doing. I be stroking.
Yes.
So what does Uncle Lori be doing? Oh God, whatever.
Looking to the east, looking to the west.
I be faking.
Be looking to the one that I love the best. I be
faking. Yeah. Mayor Uncle Foot. Yeah. I be faking.
I be licking.
Well, that's going to be the conversation.
I be licking.
Ooh wee.
Oh my gosh.
Oh help.
Lord help us.
Yeah.
Wait. AB Media said this. Talking about Uncle Fester, and then Dietz responded, "Don't insult the great Christopher Lloyd or Gordon Craven that played the role of Fester." Agreed with that, and then Sick Diggy gets on the fun. Needs to find that bit by George. I'm way ahead of you. Way ahead of you, Sick. I'm going to invoke some George Carlin into the program, and then BGS, one of my homies, just meow. I can't play this too. I can't play this too loud because my daughter has a cat, and she'll creep out of the room. But I'll just put this up there.
Oh Lord,
that should tell you everything you need to know about today's Chicago politics. That word right there.
You messed me up though, Base, in saying Uncle Lori.
Uncle Lori.
I can't unsee that.
I'm glad I took my glasses off because I now have tears in my eyes from laughter when he said Uncle.
It's serious, Doc. When you look at these politicians who just want to get into office and they don't really care about the people and just think about the metrics and the vote.
Don't care about the people. Don't care about the city.
No, of course not.
This is the one thing that gets me, and I'm glad actually I'm talking to two people who actually know the ins and outs of Chicago. This is what I don't get about that city. As proud as people are being from there, why is the politics so corrupt?
Where do we begin?
It's been like that since day one. Something like this you can't really explain. It's just an unfortunate force of nature, and people getting involved in it. They know who they are. They know the constituents, and they know what they want to accomplish. And a lot of them just want to, just get it for themselves, and not just local politicians and national politicians and whoever he or she wants to run for office, because it's a business. And so once you get in the business, get a salary, you can pretend that you care. You can pretend that you're for the people. In reality, that you're not.
3 words: Mayor Jane Byrne. Do it.
Well, see,
and that's why I said
that goes.
You know what?
Well, I don't do alcohol too often, so
you should.
This is as close as I go.
Yeah, you should though, man.
I mean,
smooth.
BGS said it perfectly. This describes Chicago politics. The best way to rob a city is to run one.
Yes, absolutely.
And you can go right next door to Gary, Indiana, and see the ruins of that.
BGS, that is a mic dropper if there ever was one, bro.
I'll leave this up here for a couple seconds. The best way to rob a city is to run one.
Mm-hmm.
And I lived in 2 of them where the local politicians robbed the city: Chicago, Illinois, and Gary, Indiana.
Yeah.
Oh no, not the big suburb near it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. When there was an event that I used to cover when I lived in Gary called the Railcats High School Baseball Challenge. I got asked to interview a mayoral candidate, and I said, "Good." I said, "Fine, I'll interview her on the air while I'm doing the baseball game." So in between innings, I had the interview, and she left me her card. Do you know I left her several messages saying when I'm just asking when are we going to be able to do a follow-up to the interview, because a lot of people paid attention, a lot of people listened.
Right.
You know, she got in the office and discarded everybody.
Oh, God.
And then
another idiot.
One of her constituents had the nerve to recognize me at the steel yard when I was covering a Railcats game, and I ignored him. And he had the nerve to ask me, "Why haven't you called the mayor's office?" Because she hasn't called me. And I left several messages. And like my buddy Bass, even though I was on duty, I dropped the mic, left the park, cracked open a beer, and went home. I cracked open a beer and went home. But that should answer your question.
Wow.
Why?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Why politics are like that? Just like Bay said, been that way since day one. The only mayor I can think of in my hometown that actually cared about the people until he was framed was Harold Washington.
I had a feeling you was going to say his name.
Yes. Well, Harold Washington was the blueprint for a lot of mayors, or even going national, because David Axelrod was his political strategist.
That's how he got his footing in politics.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. David Axelrod became the political strategist for Barack Obama.
Right.
Pretty much it was the same strategy. I think that David Axelrod just took it on the national level with Barack, local level with Harold Washington. So that plan worked tremendously. And let me say this on a side note. So I'm channel surfing, and I come across 2 movies I rewatched. The first one was Great Balls of Fire, with Dennis Quaid playing Jerry Lee Lewis. So I'm watching it. Now, we understand something. For those that follow the history of rock and roll.
Right.
This guy, Jerry Lee Lewis, was on the cusp of being the next king of rock and roll. Now, that's a whole separate conversation about who invented rock and roll. We know who invented rock and roll. But in this dynamic of the story, Elvis Presley got drafted by the military, was leaving Sun Records, and here's Jerry poised to position to be the next king of rock and roll. And what does he do at the height of his career?
Decided to be R. Kelly.
His cousin.
Yeah, he decided to be R. Kelly.
Yeah. Married his cousin. Now, she was 13. Now, don't get me wrong. I guess no matter whatever region during that time, he was from the South, they were in Memphis. That's where Sun Records was. If that's going to be the criteria, then God bless your ministries. But they even frowned upon it when it happened. You mean to tell me you couldn't find any other woman to marry, and you marry your cousin, your second cousin, quote unquote, twice removed. I don't care. See, then you start to make laws like, oh, okay, with your third cousin, it don't count. I'm like, come on now. You're just
Still
trying to
family.
make excuse to bang your family.
Yeah, it's still family. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I would particularly get that. But I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And then I watched Clockers, directed by Spike Lee.
Mm-hmm.
And Clockers had a cast of thousands. You had Mekhi Phifer, Harvey Keitel, John Turturro, Keith David, Regina Hall. I think that was the name. Give me there was some other, but see, all these people that I saw on there were dynamic actors. Isaiah Washington, for example, because Isaiah Washington and the Mekhi Phifer played brothers. So I'm looking back at it, I'm like, the cast was solid.
Mm-hmm.
And that always amazes me when you look at the cast and you go back and watch it, because individually they go on to their own prominence and their own branding of who they are as actors and the body of work they do. But man, you ever have time, go back and watch Clockers, man. It is really educational still when it comes to African American in the street and survival and the whole thing with the cops, stuff like that. It's a very excellent movie. I highly recommend it.
Movie we're gonna have to check out.
Clockers.
Movie we're gonna have to check out. Ivan Dawkins in the chat with us. It's a cold boom shakalaka world.
That's
Yep,
right.
it
That's
most certainly is.
Nice.
I'm sure you had to moonwalk out of it, man. I ran out of there, out of that press box. I ran out of that press box. AB Media, we got senators for. Oh God.
Yes, Tiara Mack.
So true.
We don't. Pardon me, in the immortal words of Jack Buck, and I mean this very facetiously, pardon me while I stand up and applaud.
Let me smack them cheeks while I get your votes.
Absolutely. Yeah. And another thing,
Lord.
For people out there, I must say the following: that if you like to get your swerve on with older people, like the elderly, then go ahead. I remember I was working out at this place, and a lot of older people were there, and this old lady had to be like in her 80s. So I'm sitting on the machine, or the road bike machine, I'm working out, and this lady scrapes her big grandma Yaz against my fingertips while I'm holding the bar. And it's like my right, her left. And she scrapes her grandma Yaz against my knuckles.
Oh, Lord.
The bicycle bar. And then she's like, did I touch it? Well, that's all right. Oh, okay. And then went and sat down and sat her grandma Yaz on the bike next to me and started to work out. This is a Monday. I used to work out 3 days a week. Right. So Wednesday, same thing. I'm in there doing my thing. Here comes Grandma Yaz. It's the exact same thing she did on Monday. She scraped her behind on my knuckles. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, okay, yeah, but don't do it again because this is getting kind of uncomfortable for me. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. And then Saturday, Grandma Yaz started to work out. Then what happened Friday? Same thing. I said, woman, you do this on purpose. No, I'm not. Then how you gonna go around the right side of your bike? Why you come on this side? Because my hand is here. You want me to cop a feel? That's disgusting. I'm not trying to cop a feel. Yes, you are. Now, again, I don't knock anybody. Look, if you want to date or be with someone with an oxygen tank and for them to take them teeth out and do their thing on you, that's wonderful. God bless America. I'm not into the elderly like that. And I do mean not into the elderly seriously. I mean that. You think I'm no, hell no.
Hell no, I won't go. Hell no, I won't go.
No, Lord. No,
not doing it.
Jesus, baby ounces. 6 pounds, 7 ounces. I got to the point I'm called 6 pounds baby ounces at this point. It's just
6 pound baby ounces.
Yeah.
I don't know what I could do with you, man.
I'm telling you.
See, why?
They grab out trying to cut up a field.
Right. She had to be. She had to be in the same classroom as Jesus, looking over Jesus' shoulder during the test. I'm a proponent of people getting together, do the mattress mambo. That's your business,
right?
But I will not do the mattress mambo with somebody who's about to take a dirt nap. It's just wrong. It really is. If you was to ever have intercourse with somebody that old, you probably end up with dust. I'm not lying to you.
He said probably end up with dust.
Come on.
Ryan says probably the same classroom as Methuselah from the sounds of it.
There you go. That's how you do it.
Yes.
Methuselah, right.
Yes. Methuselah lives.
Yeah.
At least in this conversation.
Come on, man.
Oh, Lordy.
It hurts. I did it on the show.
Yes,
I talked about that because I go by my life experiences. I'm doing it on the show, and then friends of mine will call me and talk about, "Oh man, that's a winner." No. That's dead.
He said the juice. Oh Lord, he said the juice box basically is just straight up sand.
Sam.
This is where I need the theme from The Sandlot right about now.
Oh Lord. Oh my.
It's just not my thing. No offense. Now, if you want to have sex with dirt, it's none of my business.
Oh Lord.
Because that's the next step of where this woman is going.
Oh Lord.
She got one foot in the grave. God bless her ministry. She's been around the earth 97 years. Nothing wrong with that. From ashes and dirt to dirt, you're going to go back to dirt. So you're halfway dirting. You're halfway on the dirt. I'm sorry.
Halfway into a dirt nap. There you go.
You're halfway there.
Oh Lord.
I've heard people, no offense to that, sex with dead bodies like the necrophiliacs.
So wait a minute. Are you saying that trap rappers should have sex with old women?
No, I'm not talking about pour water on it and make it moist. I'm talking about just that situation is, date women your own age. That's a whole different situation. But
I'm just saying because they like to brag about how they do dirt. I figured, hey, they might as well go all the way and do dirt.
Yeah, you want to commit to dirt? Go right ahead. How some people say you jump on the floor or on the ground. God made dirt, and dirt don't hurt.
Oh Lord, man, we're overdue for a break, but I'm glad we didn't take one during this. But man, you never know how Chris Bates is going to be in the air, and especially with the weapon he brought us this morning. We love you, brother. Thank you.
Much love to you
so much for a wonderful, wonderful boom shakalaka. I'm cutting the daylights out of this today. All right. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you as always. Thank everybody in the comment section. Thank you, brothers. Have a fantastic weekend.
You too, man.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Uncle Lori.
Uncle Lori. We'll never get that out of my system. Never.
Nope.
Uncle Lori.
And where's his closing? Play his closing, will you please? Because we got
all right, why not? Why not? Oh my gosh.
Don't soil this program by putting crap on it. Joe Buck, I cannot take him. I just no dice. I'm glad Carlos Loser finally took the kiwi off his face. It should be on your shoes, not your face. It's kiwi shoe polish, for God's sake. LeBron should come clean about his age. I wish baby Jesus that I had alcohol in this container because I need some after watching Screaming A. Smith.
Baby Jesus? Really?
6 pounds, 7 ounces. Go tell 5 of your friends and 8 of your enemies that Chris Bates will be in the air.
The final hour of Snowman in the Morning for this week begins now.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up?
Kelly's one strike pitch. Swinging a fly ball, center field deep. Bellinger going back to the warning track, to the wall. It's a grand slam! Howie Kendrick has done it! They're going crazy in the Nationals dugout! Howie Kendrick with a grand slam here in the 10th inning of Game 5. The Nationals 7, the Dodgers 3. Do you believe it?
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait.
Are you kidding me? Do you believe it?
Hour number 3 of this Friday's edition of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson is underway. We are still trying to recover from entering and being in the Boone Shakalaka with Brian Snow. I am Cole Johnson.
And being shaken, stirred. I don't have a gut anymore.
Oh, my God.
I've laughed it off.
All I have to say is Uncle Lori. Oh, my.
Uncle Foot.
Uncle
All right.
Foot. Uncle
Let's
Lori.
Let's get to some football business.
Yes.
Let's get to some football business, and we may even have more laughter because Mike Debate is with us now. Our senior NFL advisor, as NFL analyst, is with us right now. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Good morning, my friends. Always an honor. Always a pleasure to join you here on a Friday. Thanks for having me.
The honor is ours, my friend.
What the hell are the Carolina Panthers doing? I'm just going to dive right in. I'm going to repeat this question on Monday, but Mike, what is going on here?
Well, yeah, I mean, your guess is as good as mine on this. You look at Baker and you look at the fit that he has in Carolina, and they've already got They've already got Sam Darnold on the bench there. Now you assume that these two guys are going to be competing for the starting position. It's tough to say. It really is tough to say. I mean, you look at this type of a move. Obviously, you wish Baker well. With the situation that he was in Cleveland. I mean, it had to be unenviable. There's no question about it. Now, some will argue that maybe he helped put himself in that position with how he's conducted himself the last couple of years. So there is, some argument to be made on both sides. But ultimately, with this move now, I think Carolina going the extra mile and bringing in Baker Mayfield says that they do not have confidence in Sam Darnold to be their quarterback of the future. Baker's the guy they're going to hang their hat on now. Now we're going to see what the roster around him looks like and how they're going to be able to perform on the field. But I share your curiosity. I'm still scratching my head on this one.
And this is after only 1 year of Sam Darnold. After only 1 year. I'll pose a question that I did yesterday. Is this a permanent solution for Carolina, or is this another Teddy Bridgewater situation from 2 years ago?
A stopgap measure. Ugh.
Yeah, I agree with you, Cole, 100%. This is a stopgap measure, in my opinion, at this point. I don't see this being the move of the future because Carolina right now does not have the roster around Baker to say, okay, well, we were simply a quarterback away. We just needed that signal caller. We've got the pieces in place to be able to compete on both sides of the ball. They don't, and I'm not knocking Carolina's roster. I'm not saying that they're among the bottom of the barrel in the NFL. They'll be competitive in the games that they play. They've got talent on both sides of the ball, but at the same time, to believe that they were simply one quarterback away from being in that echelon where you're discussing potential spoiler playoff contention or really being in serious playoff contention and maybe trying to compete for the division in which they're in. Just not a good situation for Carolina right now. So yeah, they're looking at a stopgap year. We'll see if it goes into next year, but ultimately Carolina is still going to be, I think, on the hunt for their quarterback of the future, and I think they try to find that through the draft this year.
Well, I talked to a Panthers fan, and this Panthers fan, in perusing social media, as soon as Baker Mayfield was a Panther, said, quote, "I'm taking receipts. The Panthers will win the Super Bowl this year." Close quote.
You gotta love the enthusiasm on fans. And look, you know what? I never say never to anything, Brian. If you told me 22 years ago that a lanky 6th-round draft pick out of Michigan was going to take over for Drew Bledsoe, who was the face of the franchise at the time in New England, and said this kid is going to lead the Patriots to the promised land, they're going to go all the way, and they're going to beat the Rams in the Super Bowl to do it, the greatest show on turf. No, there's no way I would have ever believed that. It doesn't necessarily mean that just because we don't see it now that it can't happen. So for anybody that's quoting that, for any of the fans that believe that in Carolina, I encourage you, continue to believe that. That's the great thing about being a fan. I don't see it, if I'm being very honest, but at the same time, you never know how these guys are going to fit. So maybe there's a chance, maybe there's a shot, but again, this one still has me scratching my head. I'm not completely sold on this move.
Let's stay in the NFC South. This is where we missed Mike last week, but let's stay in the NFC South. Broke down Carolina. This is Tampa. I think both of you gentlemen will agree with this statement. This is Tampa Bay's division to lose. Period.
Not even a question. Not even a question. This is the Bucs division to lose. I mean, just look at the rest of the division. I mean, and just do so from the quarterback position. All right. So with the Panthers, you have Mayfield and possibly Darnold. With the Saints, you had Jameis Winston, and now it's no longer Taysom Hill. In Atlanta, it's
fill in the blank. Fill in the blank.
Just from that alone, and then the Bucs have, the 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady. Just from that alone lets you know it's the Bucs division to lose, because none of them have the signal caller. Forget the experience or the pedigree. None of them have any experience in postseason play that you could say, yeah, I really like this guy. Yeah, okay, fine. Mayfield won a playoff game. But I'm talking about one where he goes deep into the playoffs, like a championship weekend game.
Mm-hmm.
No quarterback other than Brady can say that in the NFC South.
And the one that Atlanta had is now in Indianapolis.
And the one Atlanta had is now a cult. Yeah.
So, and Mike, you and I touched on this a lot, especially the last couple of years. One thing Tampa has that the other teams in the division don't have, and much respect to Christian McCaffrey, but it's a running game.
Yeah, absolutely, without any question. And look, if there is a bone to be picked with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it is along the offensive line, and that's something that does give me a little bit of concern about their running game. Don't forget, Alex Kappa, Ali Marpet, neither one of these guys are there anymore. So you're looking at Shaq Mason now coming in, a player that I've covered for years. I know Shaq very well in terms of his capabilities. He knows all about how to be a good guard to protect Tom Brady. He did it for a number of years up here in New England. He'll fill one of those slots, but there's still a need there on the offensive line. So how do you attack that? Well, Brady is as good as anyone that I've ever seen in being able to utilize his strengths on the field, knowing what his players can do, maybe even better than they know what they can do themselves. So Tom going into this is definitely going to be someone that will utilize what he has on the offensive side of the ball, and he'll continue to do it. There's still a great deal of offensive prowess on this team. I know Rob Gronkowski has officially announced his retirement. I won't necessarily believe it until the season is done and over with. But even if he is not there, you still have guys that are capable of stepping up and making plays. You still got the wide receivers in tow. Leonard Fournette is someone that he definitely relies on very heavily. So this is something that I think Tampa can hold its hat on. And you always have to remember they still have the nucleus of that team that went to the Super Bowl just 2 years ago. With Brady at the helm, you can never sleep on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from a conference standpoint. But Cole is absolutely right. This division is theirs to lose.
Let's go. Let's go to the NFC North. It's Green Bay's division to lose, although Green Bay has got some holes in their game to fill, especially in losing letting Devontae Adams walk. But for me, with Green Bay, and gentlemen, we've talked about this, and I begin with Mike, you're not worried about the regular season. It's January and beyond where you have to worry with the Packers.
Yeah, it's January and beyond when you have to worry about the Packers, and it's also the Bay Area where you have to worry about, if you're a Packers fan, that seems to be your kryptonite. Having to take on the San Francisco 49ers in the playoffs. Not a whole lot of success for Aaron Rodgers and company when it comes to that matchup. And believe me, I mean, we've talked about San Francisco an awful lot, and I'm sure we're going to continue. And that's a good thing. I always love to do that. But it's a situation where if you're Green Bay, you have to figure out a way to be able to win those games in crunch time. And the loss of Devontae Adams is something that they're going to feel in that moment. You can definitely backfill the position. They've done a good job of drafting some wide receivers that I think have a great deal of promise. But at the same time, you also have to be very mindful of what this team needs to do on the field in the immediate. I still believe that Green Bay is far and above the best team in their division in the NFC North, but I'm not necessarily sold that they are the slam dunk that everyone believed they were last year to at least be a participant in the NFC Championship game. In my opinion, they've taken a step back.
And we'll say it again, and all three of us have said it on this program. The NFC Championship goes through either Southern California or Northern California, and with all the ballyhoo that's with all the mess that the mainstream media has created, Jimmy Garoppolo is still a 49er.
Okay, so with the NFC North, it's almost to me similar as the NFC South. Just give me some competition if you are the Vikings, Lions, or Bears. Just give me something that I can sink my teeth into and just make me not forget about the NFC North, because I know it's like, okay, all right, so it's going to be the Packers. They're going to advance to January, and what team is going to knock them out the playoffs in January? It pretty much is that. I mean, that's just how the NFC North lays out. It's okay. We know the Packers are the best team in the division, and we know they're going to get bounced in January. I mean, to your point, Mike, Rodgers has met up with the 49ers 4 Januaries. The next time he faces them and wins against them in January will be the first. 0-4 against the 49ers in his career in the playoffs. So the Packers, to me, now minus one of the best weapons in the NFL in Devontae Adams, they're grasping for straws. So what are they going to do? Are they going to try to run Aaron Jones more now? And then on defense, you would say they're good, and they are, but they're now minus Darius Smith. So how can we say that this is going to be a Super Bowl contending team with 2 important pieces missing?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right on the money, Cole. If you want to be a team that's going to compete and that's going to give other teams a run for their money, and Brian, you said it best, the road to the NFC Championship is going to go through Southern California or Northern California, meaning San Francisco and Los Angeles. These are the 2 top teams in the conference, in my opinion, right now. And when you look at how these teams are stacked up, if you're going to go that extra mile, you need those stars, those bona fide battle-tested, playoff-wounded veterans that are going to be able to get you through it. The Packers definitely have Rodgers, and as long as you have Rodgers, you have a puncher's chance in any game, in any situation, simply because the man is so dynamic and such an amazing quarterback. But without the supporting cast around you, how are you going to be able to do it? That's where I give the slight edge to Tampa Bay here over Green Bay, simply because of Brady and the fact that he can hang his hat on Mike Evans. He can hang his hat on Chris Godwin. Cameron Braid is someone that's come along and can step up and be the tight end weapon that he needs. Fournette out of the backfield. Brady loves to utilize that. He's got the weapons in place that are going to accentuate Tom Brady. I'm not so sure Green Bay has done that with Aaron Rodgers this year. Could be wrong on that, but that's simply where I'm leading right now when it comes to the Packers.
And when you're looking at the NFC, and I'll say it again, it goes through San Francisco or Los Angeles. And much love and respect to the Los Angeles Rams. They're the Super Bowl champions. The question is going to be, 2 questions. A, can they do it again? And B, can they stop this San Francisco running attack, or this offensive attack, which seems to be getting, dare I say it, stronger?
You see, in my opinion, I think the Rams need to show a new wrinkle. If you're going to go through the same, if you're going to go through next year like they did last season offensively, teams are going to figure you out. They're going to stop you, and they're going to find ways to defeat you because they pretty much figure, okay, we know that you're going to line up, and no matter what, Stafford is going to lock eyes with Cooper Kupp. And yes, Kupp is that dude, no question. And Stafford is a really good quarterback.
Yes, he is.
But elite defenses are going to key in on that, limit those targets, and then force the Rams to try to beat them with somebody else. Now, to me, the only way that you could stop or even slow down the 49ers rushing attack, is to have one of your own. So that means Cam Akers, come on down.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to be the biggest component for the Rams to repeat.
Yeah, without any question. That's exactly, and that's the best way to neutralize what other teams do well is take what you do well, you can do it better, and 9 times out of 10, they successful. This is what I believe San Francisco understands, and this is what I believe Los Angeles understands, knowing that neutralize attack that's going all in the hands of San Francisco offense, that they're going to have to do the same thing. The only difference is San Francisco, I think, has the superior personnel. That's where I think they come out on top in this situation. So, Cole, you're absolutely fine when you say that Los Angeles needs to show a new wrinkle in order to be that team that can defend its title. I just think they will try to do it. I just don't necessarily know if they have the resources to do it, as opposed to their biggest rival that I do believe has the personnel to make that happen.
Yeah. Mike DeBay joining us as he does every Friday. Next week, we will begin our preview of the AFC, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Cole. Always my honor, gentlemen. Can't wait to do it again next week. Have a great weekend.
You're awesome, brother. Have a good weekend, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Take away what your biggest rival can do and do it better.
Yeah.
For the Rams, that would simply be running the football. But here's the problem. They don't.
And that is where I see the issue. Because if you're going to be a team like the 49ers, you can diagnose the Rams because you see them at least twice, and you might this year again see them 3 times. You look at them and you say, okay, what do they do best? Let's limit that. And they can, because they have a great pass rush.
Yeah, absolutely.
Their secondary is starting to come along. So they can limit. I won't say stop, because there's no way you can stop Cooper Kupp's ability to affect the game.
No,
but they can limit it. So then you have to do something else, such as you got to have, if you're going to still pass, you got to have Van Jefferson. Van Jefferson has to step up. You got to use Tyler Higbee or factors like that. But to me, if you're going to stop a team like the 49ers and basically be as effective as they are, they got to run. They got to have Cam Akers be a big part of the Rams attack. That is something that for some reason Sean McVay does not like to do. He doesn't seem to like to run a lot. At times he wants to show you that he can do it, but he doesn't want to run a lot. And if you're a team that doesn't like to run a lot, you play into the hands of the 49ers, because that's what they want to do. They want their defense to get you in 3-and-out situations and then bleed the clock when the 49ers have the ball.
And that's what they do best. That's what the 49ers do best, and that's what they're going to continue to do best. Wise has joined us. He had to accompany his wife to an appointment, and award-winning episode with you and Wise yesterday. I mean,
thank you. And I had a blast too, brother. Thank you so much for inviting me on your show.
We always have a blast. I'm going to do another episode, and if y'all missed it,
thank you, Andrew.
If y'all missed it during the second hour, this is all you need to say. This is all you need to say. A break, and we got more madness. Snowman in the morning, back in a flash.
Oh my gosh, Uncle Lori.
morning.
Dad,
Just 1 minute, okay?
hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Well, the better half of my partner, you can join us on the official SIT Morning. That's official SIT Morning with Brian Snow. I am Cole Johnson. Welcome to, again, hour number 3 of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
I just found something that it won't replace Uncle Laurie. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
It will not replace Uncle Laurie, but
okay.
You know how we find these well, during the break, I was doing that perusing social media.
Oh no.
And I love when folks want me to be a guest on their show or podcast and vice versa.
I do too.
I'm going to read this and I'm going to play a little game they play on The Price is Right called Spelling Bee. It reads as I better do this myself. It reads as follows. Quote, I'm looking to be a guest. GUESS on a business podcast. I also want to network. Close quote.
So they want to always guess. Got you.
I get what they were trying to say.
I do too.
But where is it? But
oh yes.
I gotta
English.
Yeah.
Do you speak it?
No, they don't.
Not in that.
No.
Wait. Let me do it again.
Okay.
I'm looking to be a guest. GUESS instead of GUEST on a business podcast. I also want to network. 1.
Oh, you were finished. Oh, well, allow me to retort.
And 2.
I'm getting too old for this.
And 3.
English. do you speak it?
You see, I am so glad you did this because I have an announcement of my own, and it includes if you want to be a guest on this particular platform.
I want to show that attainability. I want to show the accessibility of this kind of lifestyle.
From social media to having conversations with friends and family, you always have to put on face and say face.
What brings a smile to my face is the one person that totally believes in me, and that's my beautiful wife, Jody.
I just had to stop because I didn't value myself. I didn't love myself. And it's like, I have to learn to love myself.
Changing the world one conversation at a time. This is Revelations.
That's right. The interview platform known as Revelations is making its return. If you want to be a guest, that's GUEST. Come on down and we will have that conversation. And that is, of course, I will invite my brother again. And of course, that extends itself to Wise and the Cool and to others.
I would love to.
And I might even have Ben again on the show, and I will extend it to our next guest as well. Because he's here. And he's here, of course, to talk whatever mess he wants to talk. But it's always great. And it's always a wonderful time to have him aboard. The King in the Queen 3 and King podcast, the one, the only, the King, Ivan Dawkins.
It is fantastic to be king. See, some folks say it's good to be king. I say it's fantastic to be king because of all that comes with it, sir. How y'all doing this morning?
We're doing awesome.
Doing awesome, brother.
Yeah.
So, awesome. And it's great to have you.
Hey, let the masses know that Snowman insisted that I cut my cam today. I think there's only so many pixels that the handsomeness scale didn't really fit. You know, and so I was breaking the pixels or something like that. I don't know. It's some technical stuff. So that's why I'm only audio. Cole, I know you wanted me to be video as well, but you know, I guess I don't think Snowman's camera can handle, his computer can handle all this gorgeousness.
Wow. And in response, King Dawkins,
please allow me to retort.
Exactly. wait. Let me give you the same. Let me give you the same triple play. And of course, I mean this in fun.
Oh, you were finished. Oh, well, allow me to retort.
I'm getting too old for this.
And of course, and this goes back to the clerical error.
English. Do you speak it?
Don't you want to say that sometimes to people?
Hey, don't. Not only do I want to say it, I say it. Number one, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. Simply because of Sam Jackson.
Got to have some Pulp Fiction in your life.
In fact, as a matter of fact, I wish I was on video because I'd pull my wallet out and I would show you exactly what it says. And if you're a Pulp Fiction fan, Cole, not only do I carry that wallet with me every day, I have a backup in my closet. So when this one wears out.
You are not right, Ivan.
Well, okay, here we go.
Turn it on. Let's see it.
I'm finna
tell
you.
You're not right, Ivan.
Turn it on. Let's see.
You are not right to have that on your wallet. Oh my God.
Oh yes, he
is.
is.
Sometimes you need a reminder. Hey, reach in that bag and give me that wallet that say "bad motherfucker" on it. That's mine.
You are not right in having that on your wallet. Oh my God.
Hey, Cole, when this one get too old, I already got another one. I got a black one and a brown one ready to go. Brand new in the package. Because I don't ever want to run out of them.
Oh my God.
Me neither. Especially given the fact I kicked cancer in the ass.
Hey.
Between you and Chris Bass, I don't know what to do with the both.
You know what? In case y'all missed it this morning, I'm going to make sure I cut the daylights out of this. All Bass had to say this morning, and this is one of the few times we spoke politics, but we had a ton of laughter. All he had to say was Uncle Lori. And if anybody, especially from my hometown of Chicago, has seen Lori Lightfoot, the mayor, I mean, Bishop Bullwinkle, please.
Hell no, to the no, no, no. Hell to the no, hell to the no, to the no, no, no. Listen.
Hey, Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson got my entire office walking around here singing Bishop Bullwinkle. Hey, no one can just say no anymore. It's just not possible. When we ask a question that the answer is no, they got to sing it. And I'm like, you can just say no, mother. Yeah. Because that's all they hear every week, all morning.
So the moment I heard Brian say this, I said, I know I'm going to have to find Bishop Bullwinkle. I didn't know his name at the time, but it's like, I got to find that jingle. Got to find that jingle, this guy, because Brian says it so much. And then when I found it and I played it for the first time, Brian rolled.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's money.
Yep.
It's money.
It's like I told Cole when he loaded it. My wife and I were on our way to Indianapolis, and I'm scrolling through and I see that, and I said, "Honey, I have to play this for you." She says, "All right, hit me. What you got?" And I played that for her. I'm just glad we were at a red light. I'm just glad we were at a red light.
Yeah, that's an all-timer right there.
Now, speaking of using Bishop Bullwinkle, will the Dallas Mavericks get back to the Western Conference Finals without Jalen Brunson?
Hell no, to the no, no, no. Hell to the no, hell to the no, to the no, no, no. Listen.
Right before I was about to answer, that's even more priceless.
Well, let me just say this. They wouldn't get there again with him.
At least
because we were there a year early, okay? Or 2 years early. So we wouldn't get there again with him.
Wait a minute. Let me find it. Then my response to that response is only
damn. Yeah, I hate to say it. They may actually have more regular season wins this year, but they're not. Again, that was a little too early. So we don't have the roster that it's going to take to be able to make that deeper run again. Now, Luka is magic, as we all know, but I'm just not seeing it. I hope I'm wrong.
Luka got stopped in the Western Conference Finals. Did he get his individually? Yes.
Yeah.
But he didn't get his teammates involved.
Yeah. And
5 games.
Yeah, and that's the next level, right? I think he did the same thing in the Olympics, right? He took them to the finals with a bunch of spares. Hell, he could have had me, you, and Cole on the squad, and we probably would have got to the finals for the Olympics. We could have got a silver medal. But yeah, NBA is a different monster. And as we can see,
monster.
That's right. It's a completely different ball game, and they've been saying that forever, right? That once you get to the playoffs, it's a whole different ball game.
Yep.
And like I said, he's still learning. And one of the biggest things about this is what kind of shape is he going to be in, right? Is he gonna come?
Just climbed into my head.
Yeah, is he going to come into camp in shape?
Into my head. Is he going to start in shape at the top of the season?
Yeah. And not only that,
and be ready to play all 82 games.
And not only that, is he going to take his nutrition seriously throughout the course of the year? See, I'm gonna tell you like this: I don't take my nutrition seriously, but I'm not making $40 million a year shooting the ball either. Right. All I got to do is drive a GMC 2500 HD 38 minutes every day. So like I said, it's a little different. But like I said, but some of the greats, even Dirk said, it took him until he was about 25 or so before he started taking his nutrition seriously, because he understood the impact that it makes on a long, grueling season. So hopefully he will learn that lesson as well.
because I hate seeing him report the camp out of shape.
Mm-hmm.
And the one here's a player that's going to report the camp out of shape, even though pictures have circulated and saying to the contrary, which I'm not going to buy. And I'm going to make Cole smile when I bring up this name, Zion Williamson.
Oh yeah, ooh, that's a conversation. See, they're about to sign this guy. They're about to sign this guy, this kid,
to a 5-year, $200.
Would y'all do that?
Wait.
Oh Lord. This is why I created.
Wait.
Would you sign Zion Williamson to a 5-year, $193 million contract that could actually extend itself to $231 million?
Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no. Listen.
1 year.
Yeah, no way.
1 year, prove it to me contract.
But Snow, here's the deal, man. I don't even know that would be good enough for me.
It's not.
I don't think that I don't think he's got the body, man, that's going to allow him to stay healthy through his career.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. I hate that that's the case, but I think what we're seeing is just simply a microcosm of what his entire career is going to be. I really do.
And we saw a glimpse of that
in college.
Thank you.
That's right.
At Cameron
100%
Indoor
right.
Stadium.
You're right.
When he only played for 36 seconds.
Yeah.
And he blew out of his shoe.
Yeah.
And he hasn't solved that problem
yet.
Yeah. He hasn't solved that problem yet. Steph figured it out with his Under Armours, and now Steph is Steph, and he's a 4-time champion. Everybody wants to say, Zion Williamson's playing on a position. I agree with that. But he needs to lose some more weight.
Yeah.
I mean, being 6'8" and 300 pounds, you ain't Charles Barkley.
No.
Barkley actually put in the effort.
Big.
Yeah, that's right.
When he played.
That's right.
Barkley actually put in the effort, even in his Philadelphia days.
Yeah.
He actually got up and down the floor, beat people up and down the floor. You know who Zion Williamson reminds me of? Hasheem Thabit. No endurance whatsoever. And you add about 80 pounds of it's not even muscle.
Yeah.
No, I got you beat, bro.
Even if it were muscle, you still got to lug that 80 pounds up and down the court on one of the hardest games on your knees and your body
and your
that
feet.
has ever been invented.
Knees, ankles, and feet.
It is the hardest. The physicians will tell you that all over the country. That is one of the hardest things you can do to your body. Just pound it up against that up and down that court, right? And we are only thinking about the 82 games that they have to play. We're not talking about all the practices, all the individual workouts, so we just talked about nutrition when it comes to Luka, right? Well, guess what? It's even more paramount for a kid that big. He's got to do the things necessary so his joints and things of that nature, man, will have what it takes to heal from game to game. Whether he needs cryogenic chambers, whether he needs to do heat therapy, cold therapy, I don't care. Whatever he needs to do, he needs to be doing everything at his disposal to make sure his body is taken care of.
Well, if Zion if he doesn't do that, he will turn into this generation's Oliver Miller.
100%.
At least Oliver Miller had a jump shot. Oliver Miller had Charles Barkley at his disposal for some tutelage.
Yeah.
Zion Williamson thinks he's all that and then some.
But see, Zion still with that big frame can do a 360. Unfortunately, I am not wanting to see this. Now, when I say it this way, I'm not wanting to see it, and I'm praying. But unfortunately, I am waiting for the time when he does decide to do that. He doesn't blow out his shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to see that.
I
don't want to see that either.
I'm with you, Cole. I got a feeling that that's what we're in store for. And again, I hope I'm wrong there.
Yeah.
But again, we right back to this thing. See, we hear people talk about women's intuition all the time, but there's a such thing as intuition for guys like us that you can just feel it. Some people call it your gut, or whatever. You got that instinct that says, something ain't going right with this. I'd be the first to come on and say, hey, I was wrong. Let that kid end up winning the championship or two, or making it through an entire season, or living up to a contract.
I'll gladly say I was
I
wrong.
want to be wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd like to be wrong too, but the the class of that draft is John Morant.
Oh yeah.
The class of that draft is John Morant and Zion Williamson. In 3 years, A hasn't even played half a season, and B hasn't proven anything.
Yeah.
Tom Heinz, the late great Tom Heinsohn, always said it during the CBS broadcast. Prove it to me.
Yeah.
And I've had so many people send me pictures of Zion Williamson being buff and cut up and everything. I'm like, dude, do you know what time of the year it is? Let me see this beyond November.
Yeah.
Let me see this when he's lapping people up and down the floor. Okay,
Yeah.
and I don't mean just for chase down blocks either.
Yeah, and buff ain't enough. That doesn't mean you got the endurance. That doesn't mean you got stamina.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean that you've been on the cardio.
And here's the problem: Zion never has had the stamina. I'll put it out. I'll put it out there, and people don't. You know what? I'll listen for all you Zionites. All I gotta say is this:
The truth shall make you free.
And the truth is, Zion Williamson ain't all that.
Yeah.
Zion Williamson never has been all that.
But unfortunately for some people, though,
You can't handle the truth.
And there's a lot of those out there, brother.
It's a lot of them. It's a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I hadn't been able to listen all day. I've been in and out, with meetings and other things, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I don't know. Have y'all had the opportunity to talk about the 54 semifinalists for the Pro Football Hall of Fame today?
We actually have not.
Okay. So I know I have a name or two of interest on my end, which is Everson Walls and Chuck Howley. Did I hear correctly that Roger Craig is on that list too?
He better be.
Semifinalist?
He better be.
I think it is. I was trying to pull that up right before I got on, but I ran out of time. But Everson Walls, again, travesty that he's not already there. Chuck Howley, same thing, right, with their numbers. But I think
Chuck Howley's a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Super Bowl MVP. How is he not in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, and again, see, Everson Walls got a little bit more pub last year when Trayvon Diggs was doing what he was doing because he started breaking, guess whose records? Everson Walls. And again, we're talking about Everson Walls out of Grambling State University, that HBCU, right?
Yep.
And so, hey, let me just say this, man. Some of the conversations around here is about those biases, man. And I can't find any justification whatsoever why he's not in the Hall already.
Man. Oh,
you have made my partner grimace and smile at the same time, man.
Yeah.
Randy Gradishar, Maxie Bond, Clay Matthews Jr., Tony Nobis, Chuck Howley, mention him. Wide receivers, Otis Taylor, Sterling Sharp. I'll stop there. Why is Sterling Sharp not in the Hall of Fame?
Right.
Warren Clayton and Stanley Morgan, and Laverne Dillwood.
Lester Hayes is on the list.
Lester Hayes, offensive lineman, Chris Hinton and Bob Kuchenberg. Two-way player, Cecil Isbell. Offensive tackles, Joe Jacoby, part of the Hogs.
One of the originals.
Mike Ken, defensive lineman, Joe Klecko, New York Jet, Jim Marshall.
So Joe Jacoby, I'm a Cowboy fan, so if I'm saying he need to be in there, you really don't need any. You come on, Joe Jacoby, one of the original Hogs. How's he not already in the Hall of Fame? But that's the Hayes, the king of Stickum. That the reason why they outlawed Stickum, he's not in. Come on,
right?
And I don't, unfortunately, see
Roger Craig.
Whoa, I take that back.
I was going to say, I swear I heard them say.
4-time Pro Bowl quarterback Ken Anderson, do-it-all running back Roger Craig, return specialist Billy White Shoes Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't read it all. I didn't see, but why is Roger?
Yeah, Sterling Sharp needs to be there.
Sterling Sharp should have been in.
Roger Craig should be there.
Roger Craig, Lester Hayes, Chuck Howley, Everson Walls.
All those are criminal that they are in already.
And why does it have to take Roger Craig to be on the senior committee or be on a list of a senior committee to get in the Hall of Fame? He was the first to have 1,000 season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's the reason why it's a thing.
1,000 season, 3-time Super Bowl champion, first player in Super Bowl history to have 3 touchdowns in a Super Bowl game, Super Bowl 19. Jerry Rice was so nice he did it twice.
Let's see. Here's one of the sins of our colleagues and our compatriots, and that is the media, right? And if you're not friendly, if you're not talking to the media, if you're not giving them access, if you're not, all of a sudden, you're not going to get the necessary votes you need to be able to get in. You know, it's politics, just like far too many other things in this country.
Man alive.
Yes.
And that is one of the biggest reasons why I took that clip from 88 against the Rams and turned it into an intro.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the main reasons I did, because you're talking about Marshall Faulk, who had 1,000 season, all the ballyhoo about Christian McCaffrey, who did it 3 years ago. Where's the love for the guy who originated the achievement?
Well, guess what? Every time I hear somebody talking, and again, I'm from Dallas. He went to SMU. So when we talk about Eric Dickerson, I'm all in, right? But Eric Dickerson wasn't a high knee king. Eric Dickerson, hey, it's another name when you start talking about that running style that needs to be mentioned every single time, and that's Roger Craig. And folks, hey, you underestimate the power of that. You know, in fact, that clip said it best. That high knee action. Oh, that's on that.
What did John?
Knees high, shoulders low.
Keep going. Keeps those feet going like two pistons.
Imagine if there were places like Pro Football Focus back in the day who were taking stats such as yards after contact. You know, those yak cards, you know, those yak yards. If they were taking stats on that and stuff like that, how much Roger Craig?
One of the first kings of yak yards would be Roger Craig. One of the first kings of yak yards would be Roger Craig.
And I'm a Cowboy fan. I'm not with it. I mean, you know, like I said, let me put it to you like this. We all done heard the saying, in the end, you love to hate. So
right.
So Roger Craig is that for me.
Thank you, Ice Cube, for that. Thank you, Ice Cube, for that.
Yeah, but I respect the hell out of it, man.
Same with me and Everson Walls. I mean, Everson Walls was a bad man.
Oh, yeah.
Everson Walls was a bad man.
Yeah, I want to say Everson had 15 picks in one season, if I'm not mistaken. Unheard of right now.
Who else was in
that rookie season?
Defensive back. Who else was in the defensive backfield? Was it Dennis Thurman?
Yep, Dennis Thurman was there.
Dennis was in that backfield. Yeah,
you had Dexter Clingsdale back there.
Because Dennis Thurman picked off Joe Theismann 5 times in a game.
Yeah, Dennis Thurman was
on a Monday night game.
Number 32.
And you know who else is, a receiver that should be on this list, but it's not? You know the name I'm bringing up? John Taylor.
Yeah, oh yeah, no doubt.
And then, Wise loves to tease me about my 49er bias. Part of it is the bias, I admit, but part of it is just plain achievement.
Yeah, I can't argue it. Again, that's
just plain achievement.
Run it through the other team fan filter. And if you got somebody like myself who is going to be reasonable, I'm going to be a fanatic when it's time, but I'm going to tell you the truth most of the time. And if you can run it through my filter and I say, yep, you're right. No, and as much as I despise those franchises just because of what they done did to my boys over the years. So Pittsburgh, San Francisco, Philly, all of them, I'm not with it, but Hey, if they're deserving, they're deserving. Simple as that.
Yeah, agreed. And I'm the same. I mean, I'm the same simply because you look at the backs that have come out now and the style of back that these teams want now. I'm talking about 2022.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that 40 years ago, 35 to 40 years ago with Roger
Yeah.
Craig. And unfortunately, he does not get assigned that type of platitude because people say that these backs now look like Marshall Faulk. Well, Marshall Faulk had that example 15 years before he became the stud that he was in NFL.
Right. Right. And guys like
who'd have known
that.
about Roger Craig playing? Who'd have known about Marshall Faulk when playing at San Diego State? Okay, the exploits he had at San Diego State got him into the league, and he proved himself.
Yeah,
Roger Craig did the same thing at Nebraska. Roger Craig did the same thing at Nebraska.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are so many other.
Yeah, unfortunately, these guys are dinged because of the talent that they played with. You know, with Roger Craig, Joe Montana and Taylor and Rice and whatever. But I'm telling you, they would be the first to tell you that they don't do what they do without somebody like Roger Craig.
I'm glad you said that, Ivan. What do I always say, Brian, about Roger Craig and John Taylor?
Victim of the team.
Yeah,
victim of the team.
Yeah, because when you think about the 49ers in the 80s, they say, well, the success of the others have been dependent upon Bill Walsh, Joe Montana, Ronnie Lott, and Jerry Rice. And I mean, everybody from Randy Cross to Hacksaw Reynolds to Keenan Turner to Eric Wright. And that's not and that is not including Roger Craig and John Taylor.
Yeah.
Nope.
I mean, even Tom Rathman suffers from it.
Yeah, that's true.
Brent Jones. Yeah.
And Brent Jones revolutionized that 49er tight end position after John Frank retired.
Yeah. And I think the same thing has happened, well, to your Cowboys point with Everson Walls. They think, well, that team is Landry, Danny White, and Tony Dorsett, and Ed Too Tall Jones and Randy White.
I'll throw another Cowboy name out there.
And Drew Pearson.
From the 90s. I'll throw another Cowboy name out there from the 90s. Darryl Johnston, the Moose.
Yeah.
How come he doesn't get the Hall of Fame love?
Yeah, there's a reason why Emmitt Smith can't talk about Darryl Johnston without tearing up. Yeah, he get a frog in his throat the size of the TCU horn frog.
There you go. I love it. Well, we got to get out of here, but King Dog joins us every Friday at this time, 35 after the third hour. Man, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you. We love you.
Oh, definitely. Enjoy it every time. And hey, Cole, make sure you keep sending me stuff about Revelation so I can get it out on our platforms as well. All right.
We'll do, brother.
I will do
all right,
the
man.
same.
Y'all have a good one. And let me give you one more reminder before I go.
Say it.
Don't forget.
Well,
all right,
we're the same thing. Thank you. Thank you.
See you, man. Oh my gosh.
Love having
Chris
him
Bass with a liquor bottle and Ivan with the BMF wallet. Oh my gosh.
The liquor bottle, Uncle Lori, and the BMF wallet. I think it's time for us to get the hell out of here.
Yes, I think we have crushed it.
We have crushed it. We have crushed it for today. And thank you for the first few minutes of the day while I was getting myself organized.
No problem.
The wounds on a quick health update, the blisters on my feet are healing even faster now.
Good.
And I'm doing more knee bends and leg bends. I'm getting everything stronger. I promised my wife a dance. And I also promised we're flying our asses to North Carolina when the call comes in.
Nice. Okay.
And that is it's just simply going to happen. You need to create a commercial for this show for us.
Oh, I am.
Oh, you are?
That's what I was wanting to do. That's what I was wanting to tell you. I am in the mode of actually creating commercials, and yes, I'm gonna do it for this show. I'm gonna do one for Stuck in My Mind. I always talk to Wise about it. And I want to do it for many other shows to where when we do run a commercial break, I want to run one where we plug the shows. And I mean, Queen, Green King, all the Chris Basis shows, Sam Shady, Fifth Down, all of them.
And thank you to the BS3 Network.
Yes.
For
many thanks to
taking on this program.
Yeah.
And keep not only keeping us in the loop, but just keeping us doing this.
Yeah.
This has been an absolute blast for a short week. One more from Sick Dick and the BMF Wallet. That's the title of this episode. It sure is.
The Liquor Bottle Uncle Lori and the BMF Wallet. Oh my gosh.
Wait till I start cutting this up. Oh geez.
Uncle Lori.
And I'm limiting the podcast version to an hour. Half of that's Chris Basis.
Yeah, that's what I say.
And the other half's probably gonna be Ivan.
Yeah, Ivan. Yeah.
The other half is probably that's what I need. The intros and outros for the Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson podcast. I'll let you get creative with it.
Okay.
I will let you get creative with it. But if you can get those to me by the weekend, and also some for the best of, because I'm putting Chris Bass in the best of. Have to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have to. All right. Let's get out of here.
Yeah. For all of us here at Cole, Snowman Morning with Cole Johnson. With Brian Snow, I'm Cole Johnson. Thank you for making this week wonderful. But until then, see ya.
Thank you for tuning in to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, the hottest of hot takes and the coldest of cold, hard facts.